the Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about Star Wars, pop culture, potentially lethal drinking games, or whatever the fuck we feel like talking about. I am Mr. Jason Roscom. With me here each and every single week, the 94 to my 94, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
94.
94.
94.
94.
94.
And yes, if you play the drinking game where you take a shot every time we say 94, you will die.
You're going to die.
You will die.
94.
94. And so it begins.
Yes.
So, Dave, how are you?
I'm ready to go. This is going to be a long episode. We got a lot to talk about.
I know, yeah. Our fucking notes are like, it's lots going on.
It's like we just started listening to music in 1994.
94.
94.
94.
Buckle up, folks.
Yep.
So, do we even have to say what we're talking about this week?
I think we're talking about the music of
94.
94.
Yes, so we are going to talk all things 94, and it's going to be glorious. You're going to hear those drops a lot,
Yeah.
and you might even hear a few different things.
Orphanat.
And
Whoa.
should we talk about our Patreon before we get into?
Yes.
All right.
Before we play something else backwards.
Yeah. If you're enjoying the Sidebar Cantina's content, consider becoming one of our Patreon supporters. For as little as $1 a month, you can support this podcast and help it make it possible for us to continue to bring you quality content week after week.
Yeah, Jesus, dude.
We'd like to give a huge shout out to our current patrons, Shotgun Mark, Frank Kalevich, Frederick Martin, Lord Helmet Fire, Scott and Kim from the Used and Abused podcast, Ivo G, Kristen Roscom, Nick from Swede Studios, Catherine Rennick, my wonderful mother-in-law, Patricia Goodstein, Don Solsky, Nicholas Schaefer, David Schmuck, Wally Frogmore, Tony Ferrari, Brady Biglovin, and Dragon Buddy. We appreciate each and every one of you. If I have just read your name, then you are invited to the Sidebar Cantina's Fantasy Football League this year. This is the last call, as we will be finalizing the league in the next few days. If you've already reached out to us to let us know that you want to participate this year, then we've got you. But if you are a patron and you haven't claimed your spot yet, then please talk to Dave, myself, Luna Girl, or Kristen, and we'll get you in. For everybody else, if you'd like to consider becoming a supporter, you can find us at patreon.com/thesidebarcantina. For our current patrons, please head on over to Patreon and check out our latest post. We shared some of our future plans and would love
Supporting.
would love to give some input from our Star Wars comic book readers. Thank you again to all of our listeners and supporters. You are the reason why we do this. And this week there's going to be a bonus video exclusive for our patrons of Miss Jennifer Lopez, who had an impromptu public performance this weekend.
She did indeed.
And again, exclusive for the Patreon. So
That was cupping. Yes, it was. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, she was at a concert and she performed.
all right, so can't wait to see that video on our Patreon. And in the interim, do you have any Red 5 news to talk about?
Well, in Red 5 headlines, a huge happy birthday shout out to our Red 5 bro Brad, Dungeon Master of the Red 5 Tavern, and to the Scuttle Daddy himself, Ro.
Wow.
Both of these guys have birthdays coming up this weekend. More Red 5 news, including the latest from the 2022 Parsec Fan Awards, coming up at the end of the show.
All right, so that being said, should we get into our week?
94.
94.
I haven't said it in a minute, so we got to make sure we keep it going.
Yep, exactly.
Wet your whistles.
Yes. So, we had a mutual week event. We went and saw Rogue One this weekend.
We did.
Re-released in IMAX. We talked about it over the last couple of weeks. We saw it on Friday.
Friday, yes.
Friday.
Friday.
94.
And
Doesn't work.
yeah, it was awesome. Like seeing it on the big fucking screen again with the loud noises and just everything right there. in front of you.
noises!
Yeah, it was a great experience.
It was. It's Star Wars. It's in the theater. And look, it's well documented that Rogue One is not like my absolute favorite film.
Yeah.
But seeing it on the big screen, and it was done well with the IMAX, regardless of the fly.
Oh God, the fly.
This fucking fly was on, I guess, flying onto there was at least two. There had to have been two.
Yeah, there had to be more than one.
And I don't know how you could have sat through that and not recognize the fly being there, because it was the perfect outline, like walking through. Like, so if there's the pan out shot at like Scarif, and it's, oh, here's the blue sky and the water, and then there's this purple outline.
Yeah, like
of
a
fucking
miscoloration.
fly.
Yeah.
Just fly, just fucking wandering around on the fucking screen.
Yeah, because there was a fly on the fucking projector, on the lens of the fucking projector.
Yeah.
And it's just crawling around, and then randomly throughout the movie, we see a fucking big ass fly.
The entire fucking movie, like, not like, oh, a couple minutes or whatever. No, 2 hours. This fly just like randomly kind of go, ha ha, fuckers, and I got to a point where I was just sitting there going like, putting my hand up like this and pointing at it, because I didn't want to say anything just in case nobody else noticed it. It was just my dumb ass.
Oh no, I saw it for sure.
And then I just started like trying to knife hand the fucking thing to make it go away.
Yeah.
And thankfully somebody else in the theater, as we were walking out, were like, yeah, the fly was buzzing around me, because he was sitting in front of the projector.
Oh shit.
That guy that was sitting at the top, because the place was relatively empty. I mean, we went 4:30 on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
And we had the theater pretty much to ourselves.
Right. Well, and the reason I picked that was because the good seats in the later showings were all sold out. So like,
Right.
I'm like, fuck, this is the only time that I can get us, the good seats in the middle. So we had to go with that. But yeah, overall great experience.
Somebody only noticed the fly twice, which
Right.
I just don't know how you can. I don't know how you can only see it twice.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I have 2 pictures of it.
Yeah. It was distracting at times, but it didn't take away from the overall experience of the movie. Always good seeing Star Wars up on the big screen. Right. And apparently it did well. It was only open for 250 screens countrywide over the weekend, and they made over $1 million.
Nice.
So I'm like, okay, is this a trend? Are we going to start releasing more Star Wars movies?
We can hope. Yeah. We can hope.
Rebellions are built on hope.
Hope is a poor strategy.
Indeed. All right. Should we move on to our individual weeks?
Sure.
All right. So, I have a big addition to
the sacred Jedi Pixies!
Because I mentioned it last week that I decided I was going to sell all of my old Star Wars toys, all of my toys from the 80s and 90s, and because we have this local toy store that buys and sells used toys, like from our time. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm all in on the Black Series as it is. All those toys are like sitting in a fucking box in my garage. They're all beat to shit because I beat the hell out of them when I was a kid. Then I let my kids play with them. So none of them were in great condition anyway. I'm like, I'll see what this guy will give me for all of my old toys, and I'll just go all in on Black Series. And that's what I did. He bought all my stuff for a couple $100. And I invested it in turn into some Black Series figures. So we'll try to get through these quick.
Some Black Series figures.
So first of all, and then in addition to all of this, one day Kristen, like I think this was on like Thursday, just surprises me with a Black Series figure out of the blue. No anniversary, no occasion, nothing. I get home one day from work and she's like, "Here, I got you a Black Series figure."
Aw,
yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's a good wife. Good.
Nice.
Good
That's
wife.
very nice.
So she got me this from Jedi Fallen Order, a Flame Trooper.
Nice.
So
I like it.
Da-da-da-da. I love my troopers, so got that. I don't know.
Yeah, just stack.
Yeah.
I have a feeling there's going to be a lot.
Yeah, and then so now I started acquiring Black Series figures from the store because he gave me a shitload of store credit, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to just turn around and put all into Black Series figures anyway, so just give me store credit. So one thing that I noticed too, by the way, is that I don't up until now I didn't have any like original heroes in the Black Series figures except for Slave Leia, and I picked her up for a specific reason.
Right.
But I didn't have like Han, Luke, Lando, Chewie, none of those. So that was one thing I was able to remedy a little bit over the weekend. I got one of the original Chewbacca's.
Wow.
That's, some
the
original Black Series packaging.
The blue box Chewbacca.
Yeah. So you can show the people at home.
Here's number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4.
94.
They've been doing these comic ones. You saw when I got the Sergeant
shit.
Krill. These comic book versions. So we've got the Heir to the Empire. and opens up to a Luke. So I now have a Luke.
Oh,
From
that's badass.
specifically Heir to the Empire.
That's badass. Look at that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Where the fuck's my Lando?
Lando system.
I bought a Lando and he's not in here. What the fuck? What the hell would I have done with that? Oh well. Then, Grief Karga says you're the best in the business. So, we got Grief Karga, Carl motherfucking Weathers, Apollo Creed from The Mandalorian.
Looks pretty good.
Yep.
Guys, twin pistols.
I also got,
Very regal.
Yep.
There on side profile.
I got Stormtrooper Finn. So, Finn in the First Order Stormtrooper. And if you look, he's got the blood splatter on the helmet.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
And then to close it out, I'm getting closer to finishing the Bad Batch. Because first we have, from the Bad Batch, Echo. Got Echo from the Bad Batch.
You know, from that distance, like, he looks like RoboCop.
Yeah.
RoboCop with his fucking
With the helmet off,
The helmet
yeah.
off.
Yeah, that's not a bad,
Your move, creep.
Yep. And then the last one is Crosshair in his Imperial outfit. This is in the Stormtrooper looking helmet.
Oh,
So this is Crosshair after he's gone full Imperial.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
That's a good looking helmet.
It is.
What?
It's a very sweet hybrid
Over
of
my helmet.
hybrid of the Stormtrooper, the classic Stormtrooper, and like clone troopers, and
I really like that.
yeah, it's good shit.
I mean, and you could take the helmet off.
Yeah, you can see the helmet does come off, but
Yeah.
it's it's
Well.
on in the packaging.
I want you all to be jealous of this thing that I am now in the presence of.
Yeah. So that's
is
seven Black Series figures I acquired in the last week to add to
The sacred Jedi Pixies!
I'm surprised you didn't pick up any loose guys.
He didn't have much in the way of options. He had a shitload of Jyn Ursos and a shitload of Poe Damerons loose, and that was about it. Oh, and one Rose Tico. That's not going to happen. So, all right. So that is the Sacred Black Series for this week.
Holy shit.
Real quick, it's very well documented my feelings on Pennsylvania drivers, and it's well deserved. They are the worst drivers in the tri-state area, but I can't throw stones without also singling out New Jersey drivers every
Right.
now and again. Envision this, if you will. Have you ever pulled up to a stop sign, maybe a second or two after somebody else comes up to another stop sign at the same intersection, and you're thinking, okay, this person got here first, I'm going to let them go. And then you look over and they're just going and waving you through, even though they were there at the fucking stop sign first. Does that happen to you very often?
Yeah.
It happens to me every fucking time I get to a stop sign. Every time. Every time. And I go through a lot of stop signs in my travels. I'll fucking see somebody. We'll either get, if it looks like we're getting there at the same time, if I'm not in a rush, I'll slow down to make sure that they get to the fucking intersection first. So it's a very distinct, you got there first, fucking go. Get the lead out of your ass and get to the goddamn intersection so I can move on with my life. And they never do. Like, they'll get there first, they'll stop, and they'll just stare at me. And then I'm like, fucking go. And they'll be like, go. Just, God.
See, I don't have a problem with somebody getting there and letting me go, as so long as you're not being a dick about it. Like, having the full understanding that, like, you're supposed to go first, right?
Mhm.
Like a yield, especially. Like, I'll watch
Oh,
people
yeah, yield's
stops
different.
on a yield.
Yeah, that's just
And
fucking
I'll
retarded.
like you're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like circles.
Mhm.
People do this shit in circles all the time. I'm like, dude, do you know how a fucking circle works?
Yeah.
Like, circle works. Sounds way too close, like circle jerk.
Right.
Which, I mean, 94.
94.
94. Because reasons.
Right.
But yeah, it's, let's see. When did I get my driver's license? Was it in 94?
No, I got mine in fucking 92, so you would have had to have gotten it around that time or earlier.
Oh, in Jersey, it's different.
Either way, like if you get to a stop sign first, you have the right of way. Go.
I think I got a 93.
Okay.
But regardless, yeah, that, whatever. People are fucking idiots.
Yes.
And this
Yes,
is
they
why I just drive defensively. I just drive assuming that everyone else is fucking retarded and shouldn't have their license, and I'm going to assume that they're going to make a dumb decision.
Oh yeah.
And most of the time they are, but
that's
I'm
why
prepared.
I for me, it's the best defense is a good offense. I just drive super offensively to make sure I just get the fuck away from all these other idiots on the road. But that's just me. All right, moving on with my week. We were talking about Rogue One being re-released in theaters. Spider-Man, the last Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, the one that had all the other Spider-Men come back. They are re-releasing it this weekend in 4DX.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have seen it in theaters again if it was just a normal theater release, even if it was IMAX. But because it's 4DX, my son Ben has been dying to go back to a 4DX theater, and my son Adam hasn't been to a 4DX yet. So I'm taking those two on this Friday to go see Spider-Man No Way Home
Nice.
in 4DX. So if you have a 4DX theater near you, you should definitely check it out. Good movie and fun experience with the 4DX, and you missed fucking Maverick in 4DX. Oh,
I know I did.
oh my God, it was so good. Oh, it was great.
I mean, it was a good movie. I'm just glad I got to see it in theaters.
Yeah. Oh man, what a
Just
movie.
in general.
Yeah. Last thing I had, this actually happened like 2 hours ago. Yeah, a little over 2 hours ago. I'm at work today, and there's this lady that she's like a desk hoarder. She has got shit all over her desk, but like decoration stuff. Like fucking like dragon figurines and this and that. She's got a lot of Star Wars shit on her desk, which obviously I thought was cool. You know, it's made for some conversations. And she's a little bit older. She's probably close to 50. And she was joking in the office today about how she's probably just gonna drop dead at work because she's such a workaholic. And I'm like, dibs on her Star Wars stuff. And everybody got a chuckle out of that. And she's like, oh, that's nothing. Have you seen Russ's office? Russ is another guy that works in the building, different section from us, but I've talked to him in passing in the hallways. And I'm like, no, I've never been to his office. So she walks me over there. I walk in and he's got like the mother load in there. He has got fucking a full-size Darth Vader helmet display that's like disassembled. Like you can see like the face mask and then like the skull cap part that you see when Luke first takes off the outer helmet part, and then that outer helmet part is all like separated in this like fucking sweet statuey display thing. Very expensive looking.
Wow.
He's got the Captain Cardinal, the red stormtrooper guy. Remember from the Phasma novel? He was also in the Resistance series, but he was a red stormtrooper before the Sith troopers were a thing.
Yeah.
He's got like his big full-size helmet on display. He's got a huge fucking like 4-foot Darth Maul statue. Obviously he's got some good shit. And we were talking and sharing a bunch of Star Wars toys, and I look over at his desk. And do you know what I see on his desk? Like his actual desk where his computer is and he actually is doing his work. 6 empty Diet Coke bottles. And another Diet Coke can within arm's reach.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Did I just find like Dave .7? I thought it was fucking hilarious. Oh, and he had a bunch of pops also all over
Like
his,
you do.
His desk. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of pops, and like no joke, 7 of those fucking 1 liter Diet Cokes all empty
Excellent.
on his desk, like right next to his computer too. Like he had just drank all of those today.
I am envious of not only his Star Wars collection, but that means that he has those cold somewhere close.
Yeah.
That he can keep those near. You know.
Oh yeah. He's a kind of a big wig where we are too. So he
Nice.
makes probably double what I make. So
Yeah. So I'm sure he has some sort of refrigeration unit and has easy access to
oh yeah.
his Diet Coke.
Yeah. It's a massive like corner office. Good shit.
That's
So, but yeah, like literally this all went down like 2 hours ago, like right before I left for the day.
that's perfect.
So I thought I'm like, I got to add that to the notes. So now he and I have a lot more to talk about at work. That being said, what about you, David?
You want to see something cool
Sure.
before I get into the rest of my week? So Kate's boyfriend I don't know where he is. I think he's in New Mexico somewhere.
Mhm.
But check out these pictures he took last night.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he's
That's a good one.
he's out in one of those perfect places for stargazing, and he
It's
is
the Milky Way.
he's an astrophysicist and took this.
Yeah, the YouTube screen doesn't do it justice. It's a fucking sweet ass picture.
Yeah,
he
actually, it
took.
sharpened up pretty good right there.
Yeah, that actually is really good.
Yeah, there's one picture, and then he took this picture also, but I'll have you. Oh, jeez, I'm slamming into this fucking microphone.
God damn.
So we'll zoom in to this upper corner here, and that is the Andromeda Galaxy.
Nice.
So there's the Andromeda Galaxy there. The amount of fucking stars in this picture.
Yeah, it's
I love
unbelievable.
The amount of stars. I want so bad to be able to stand and look in the night sky and see that many fucking stars.
Just go to New Mexico, man. Like I was down there a couple years ago when we talked about it.
I remember.
Yeah, I took your binocular things, and
Yep.
it was incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah, sounds like you need to make a trip.
I do.
You need to like hit a couple of spots in the Southwest.
It's pretty fucking epic. Along those lines, not necessarily in my week, but I was one of the many who woke up this morning early to try and catch the Artemis launch this morning, which didn't go.
We're
It
going to
scrubbed.
the moon.
Bitches. It scrubbed this morning at a fuel pressure issue, which is really interesting because they had a wet pad test back in June, but never actually got to the point in the checklist where they got to the point where it failed today.
Right.
So what's fascinating to me is having been on test flights, you and I both, we've been on test flights. We know the sequencing that happens when you're going through like some of these tests and the amount of like, all right, the monotony of these checklists. And the fact that back in June, when they were going through the other pad testing and they got to this one issue and that was as far as they got and they didn't go back and run the complete check. And then it got to the pad for this and had this issue, really, it's a head scratcher for me because now you start the hype was fucking real for this thing. I mean, there's a lot of people that flew down to fucking Florida, knowing shit happens, right? You could still have weather and stuff like that. So I'm sure people went down there with the intention knowing that this over a few days because the next launch window is on Friday.
Right.
So, I mean, there ended up being a massive weather issue within the launch window anyway. So it could have scrubbed for that, but who knows? Regardless, I just find it really interesting that it made it to the pad, got to this point in the checklist to this 40-minute hold, and they were trying to pressurize these engines, or get down to this basically where they're temp checking these engines, and they'd never gotten to it on the pad. And then trying to fix it while it was there, and they took it ended up being a couple hours of trying to troubleshoot and everything else, and then still ended up scrubbing.
Yeah.
So hopefully, since they got to that point in the checklist this time, then okay, now they've worked out a solution set, and then they can go on Friday. But man, I was disappointed this morning.
Yeah.
I got up early. I was hyped. I started watching fucking coverage. I was watching these guys, NASAspaceflight.com. Like it's a YouTube channel. They have their own like analysts that do commentary, like, and they're using the NASA spaceflight stuff because NASA's got a lot of dead air.
Yeah, and I think I know the channel you're talking about because I think I tuned into them quite a bit during the Perseverance launch and landing.
Yeah, it's nice. They try and keep it so there's not a lot of dead air.
Yeah,
and that's good, especially when like you're driving or something like that, because I can't really watch what's going on, and I kind of want to hear what it is going on. and try and answer all the text messages of people that are trying to keep me informed of what's going on as it's happening. So it was a little disappointing this morning, but anyway, it's scrubbed. Look for it on Friday, kids. Keep an eye on the socials because I know Luna Girl's been keeping everybody up to date on that.
Yeah.
So, got something today.
Am I opening it?
Yeah, go ahead, open that.
okay.
I think you know what that is. What does that say? Does it say on the side?
It says do not open unless final customer.
I thought it said do not open until Christmas. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Doesn't make any sense. Just don't. No, you don't need to cut it. You just pull it open, dude.
Oh.
Don't overthink it.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Yes, it's the final piece.
Yes, it is the Qui-Gon.
Credits will do fine.
It is the Qui-Gon to finish the centerpiece of Ben Kenobi and Darth Maul.
Yes.
The sacred Jedi
Pops. And yeah, I'm curious. I think we talked about before how we're gonna take this out of the. You all right?
Finish what you were saying.
Take already?
No. Just go.
Oh.
Just
Take this out of the packaging so that we could actually display it because it links up so that they're like in a semicircle, so that all three of them are together. So we'll have to test that out maybe after the show. But yeah, that showed up today after I got a message from Amazon like 2 weeks ago saying that like it's basically coming next millennium.
destination fucked.
Yeah, fucked. And then sure shit showed up today. So very
Nice.
cool to be able to bring it. Dude, I saw the fucking Beach Boys on Saturday.
Yeah, I was so jealous.
Yeah.
when I heard about that.
So Kathy had found that the Beach Boys were coming to town. I don't know, like a month or so ago.
Was this Philly or
no, this
North
is,
Jersey?
No, this is in Wildwood.
Oh,
So
okay.
here's what's really funny. 30 years ago, right, in 92.
92.
92. In the summer of 92, which was kind of like, we talked about it when we did the music in 92, how that was kind of the summer of the Dave persona starting.
Yes.
You know, and a lot of it in that same summer, this Beach Boys concert had a lot to do with that. And it was in Wildwood on the beach, right next to the convention center, is where the concert was. So if you go down to the Wildwood Boardwalk and you're right where the convention center is, and there's that whole section of beach right there, that's where the concert was.
Yeah.
So this concert, 30 years later, was in the convention center, which is on the beach still.
Sure.
It's just inside the building, just out on, the building's all out on the sand. It's not, on the mainland proper. And it was just fucking cool to 30 years later
Yeah.
to go to a fucking Beach Boys show, which it was
in the same place.
in the same exact spot. It was kind of bonkers. It really was. And I texted my buddy Jeff, who it was me, him, and then a couple of our these are campground friends that at the time, and it was amazing to think that 30 years ago this was like a young Dave was developing his personality because of the show. Totally different vibe. First of all, it was a Beach Boy.
right, because
right.
I think Mike Love's the last one that's still touring with the.
The Mike Leves is the only one touring, and then Bruce somebody is with him.
Yeah, because he's the guy who took over for Brian Wilson when they toured when Brian Wilson had his panic attack on
Right.
the plane, and so they picked up Bruce, and he's been with them ever since.
Right. So Bruce was there. The song selection was not great.
Yeah.
He played the stuff that they needed to play. They got some
The biggest hits, and
They got some songs off of Pet Sounds. They gave us Sloop John B. Got God Only Knows. Got song titles are escaping me right now. There's so much other music in my brain.
yeah, 94.
94.
Au final.
Oh fuck! What the hell? why?
I'm sure they played all the best Beach Boys songs.
They did. They played, but at the end, and Mike Love sounded. It was terrible.
Really?
It was terrible. Oh my god, dude. And I like you alluded to J-Lo's performance. J-Lo's performance during the Beach Boys concert was probably tonally about the same as what Mike Love was doing.
Nice.
And then I'm pretty sure it's Mike Love's like grandson or something that does a lot of the vocals,
Oh,
that
okay.
like the higher notes, and it's not the same.
Oh,
It
really?
just is not the same.
Yeah.
So like me and you probably do better with our stuff.
You know, so sidebar, I found out like maybe a month and a half ago that Carl Wilson died years ago, like in the early 2000s. Carl Wilson's the younger brother of Brian Wilson. He's probably most recognizable from like the Kokomo video. He's got the big beard,
Beard
and
guy,
he's
yeah.
hitting the high notes. Yeah, he died in like 2004 or something like that. I thought he was still alive. So when I found out like a month and a half ago that he was dead, I was super bummed. I don't know how I missed that when we were doing our Beach Boys episode, but yeah. And
I thought we talked about it. We didn't.
no,
Huh.
yeah, but the other brother also died. He died in the 80s, I think. He's the guy that drowned
Right.
when he was scuba diving. So yeah, Brian Wilson, the guy who partied the fucking hardest of all of the Beach Boys, is the one
Still
that's still
alive.
fucking kicking.
Yep. Well, I mean, I will say this, that Mike Love is up there at 81, and he's still, you know, he's moving around, and he's, you know, he's still
That's
like
the Parkinson's. That's all that is.
he's up there, and he's performing a role, and it was fun. It was really fun, and you know, kind of singing along to those songs, but they didn't play Good Vibrations until like the second to last song. I was just like, I was sitting there going like, I'm gonna be really fucking pissed if they don't play like.
Well, I mean, that was their biggest single ever, so they had to have played it at some point.
You would think,
Yeah.
but they waited till almost the very, very end to play it, and it was they played Good Vibrations, and it was Good Vibrations and one of their other big hits they played. But they like all the Lil Deuce Coupe stuff they played early,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was fun to go down there. Kathy and I had a good time. It was fun nostalgia, but I won't say that it was the best sounding concert I'd ever been to.
It's more about the experience.
And there was entirely too many non-Beach Boys songs. Like there was a song that apparently Bruce had written for Barry Manilow, so he sung that song. And then they had like they had rock and roll music, which if you listen to the Beach Boys channel on Sirius XM, they'll do the Beach Boys version of rock and roll music.
Yeah.
I mean, that's whatever. It is what it is. But there was like just 2 or 3 songs where I'm just like, this is not the Beach Boys. Fucking, you're here for a Beach Boys concert. I'm not here to listen to you cover other bands.
Yeah.
Especially listen to. Like okay, you're obviously not like if this is cutting off, and your grandkid or whoever is over here on the side of the stage with the guitar. Now he's obviously singing
Yeah.
and not doing that great a job. So, but it was fun. The whole experience was fun.
Good. Really quick too, before you go any farther, I fucked up with one part of my week. You know how I told you I had sold all my Star Wars toys? Well, I forgot to hide these and then present them to you at some point. But I did save 3 things from my Star Wars collection, and I now give them to you, sir.
Oh.
If just a real quick show the people at home. So we have an original 1980s TIE Pilot, a 1990s TIE Pilot, and I think that might be a First Order TIE Fighter.
It is indeed a First Order TIE Fighter.
But yeah, then also, like I said, my original 80s TIE Pilot, one from the 90s. So
He is glorious.
you may now enjoy them and do with them as you please. But I wasn't about to sell those when I know what you're.
I thank you. That is awesome.
Yes. So
Look at him. Look at this guy. Look at this. Look at this guy.
Yep.
Look at him.
He's got no neck.
He's all shoulders. look in 1980.
1980.
1980. The camera won't focus on it, but like the Empire emblems on these are fucking perfect.
Yeah,
They're
good.
perfect for as tiny as they are. Perfect.
So small.
So smear.
It's on a different page.
That's fine. That's fine. Yes, that's awesome. Last thing for my week, Kathy had found on the Facebook this 30-mile dog walk challenge that I guess it's being sponsored by USA. It's to support Stop Soldier Suicide. I guess it's this nonprofit.
Okay.
So it's a I don't know. It's just like any other, like, you know, I'm gonna walk 30 miles with the dog to, you know, and you can donate to this cause and
Yeah, you get people to sponsor you.
yeah,
and
yeah,
things
yeah,
like that.
yeah. It's you know what, it's for a good cause. You know, like, and when a company like USA is kind of putting their backing to it, it's, you know, it has legitimacy, you know, as opposed to some, you know, fly by night, you know, Wounded Warrior thing. So yeah, I'm doing that. So if you are friends with me on Facebook and you've been spammed with some sort of propaganda about this, it's legit. I sent it. I apologize. I'm not one to do that, but yeah. So if you can donate, awesome. If you're interested in doing it with your dog, you should do it. It's, you know, 30 miles is not much. I mean, I think they chose 30 miles because there's 30 days in September. So
Yeah,
it's a
makes
mile
sense.
a day. It's not a big deal.
Or you
so
can do 2 miles a day for 15 days.
you could, you know, whatever you can pull off with your dog. I know Holly and I both have some have motivation to go out and walk at least a mile a day because Lord knows we need it. So yeah, it'll be good. And our good, amazing Lunar Girl was my first donor. So thank you,
Sweet.
thank you, Lunar Girl, for your participation. And
Excellent.
yeah, and that was from her and Dragon Buddy for the donation, as she just put in the chat. So so yeah, that's it. That's that. I've now fulfilled my obligation to promote that because Kathy told me to make sure I talk about it on the podcast. So there it is.
You got to do your bits.
I got to do my bit.
All right, very good. Well, that being said, are we ready to get to our main topic? Do you need a break before we get into our main topic?
No, I'm
'Cause
good.
We got a lot to get to
We do.
in the music of '94.
94.
94.
So, yeah, we're basically just going to kind of break it down. We've each got our own top 5 lists. We had a lot of listeners give us what they thought our top 5s were going to be. We've got those
yeah.
lists.
Oh, I've got demographics on that too.
Oh,
by
nice.
the way.
I've got my own guess as to what your top 5 would be, and hopefully you'll have the same. So it'll be good, and we're gonna talk about a lot of different shit along the way. So,
crazy gold medallions.
yes, indeed. So before we get into anything else, we have a segment on the show called This or That, where our social media director, Luna Girl, puts up a poll on her Instagram. What is her Instagram, Dave?
At the Sidebar Cantina.
And she gives you 2 options. You pick one of the options, and we go over the results here on the show. And she also does it on Twitter, too. And blah, blah, blah. So, with that being said, this is all about the music of 94. So, let's go. 94.
Au final.
I knew you'd get a kick out of that one. So, all right, we've got first Billboard's #1 or #2 pop song, Don't Turn Around from Ace of Base versus I Swear from All for One. I've got a lot to talk about, at least as far as like the All for One song goes when we go later on down the line. Well,
I would, if I was out of those two, I would pick the Ace of Base song.
Yes, as would I.
That I Swear song, I'm going to repeat myself. I'm going to say it now, and at the risk of repeating myself, which I will, that may be I hate that song. That is my most hated song
Of the year or ever?
of ever.
Wow.
Of ever.
My most hated song ever, I think, comes next year in 95.
95. Yeah, this song, and there's a plethora of reasons why, and a lot of it obviously it has to do with the fucking broad, but
Oh,
I
okay.
fucking hate this song. Fucking hate it. Like frothing mad hate. Like seeing it written down in a list. Fucking just I fucking hate it. I hate it.
Well, and I have no love for that song either. But I obviously went with the Ace of Base song "Don't Turn Around." I actually like that song. I kind of liked Ace of Base back in the day.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's no kind of. I own the album.
Yeah.
I liked all their songs. Yeah, no shame in my game.
Facts.
So, and we'll get more into that as we go along. But "Don't Turn Around" only won 53% to 47%. So
Fucking
I'm questioning everything we
lame.
thought we knew about our listeners.
fucking it's so lame. I think that I Swear song was like for my senior prom, that was like the song.
Oh yeah, yeah. Go, yeah, and we're gonna get into it where we were in time at that point. But slightly different results on Twitter. "Don't Turn Around" won 90% to 10%.
Yes.
So
Thank you. If nothing else, Twitter at least has some sanity.
yeah. Now this is an interesting one. Which movie had the better soundtrack? Forrest Gump versus The Crow. Now this is interesting because the Forrest Gump soundtrack was all like oldie songs because you know it's Forrest going through fucking all these big events in history and everything, and this was one of those times where it kind of brought a song back to the charts temporarily. The song from the Byrds, "Turn Turn Turn,"
Right.
that briefly came back into the charts because of Forrest Gump. Whereas The Crow, that was more of a sampling of some of the newest grunge and rock bands at the time. So very different. You can't get more opposed than these two soundtracks.
I would agree. They're diametrically opposed for sure.
And though I honestly went with the Forrest Gump soundtrack, because I can't pinpoint a single song from the Crow soundtrack that really stuck out to me as like, oh, that was a great song. Now, if you ask me about The Crow 2, a movie that sucked, but I actually, have a lot better memory of the soundtrack from The Crow 2, but
I would probably also go with the Forrest Gump soundtrack, and I think the Forrest Gump soundtrack was a 2 CD soundtrack. Like if you went and bought it, I think it was a 2 CD soundtrack. There's a lot of music on that soundtrack.
oh yeah, because if you watch the movie, like every scene, it's like
Yeah.
a music from that time.
So and I was appreciative of that genre of music. And The Crow, I can imagine that the numbers are going to be heavily weighed towards The Crow, especially with like a grunge audience and everything else.
yeah.
So
But it seems like, because I looked through the track listing and, it was a lot of like familiar bands, but it was probably all like a bunch of B-sides that they just fucking threw at the soundtrack. They're like, hey, we need a bunch of songs for this fucking soundtrack. You want to toss us something?
because there's like there's at least one song in the top 25 that was posted for me. I think there's at least one
Okay.
song off of that soundtrack that's on there.
All right. Well, either way, result-wise, Forrest Gump won on Instagram 59% to 41%, so fairly close. And then The Crow annihilated him on Twitter 78% to 22%.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
All right. This was a no-brainer here. Talking about Sick Beats While Cruising, Beastie Boys, Sabotage, or Warren G.
Oh, bro,
Yeah,
bro.
it's Beastie
Bruh.
Boys.
Bruh.
Beastie Boys. Like, so here's the thing. I'm a California guy, right? Born and raised in California during the whole fucking Snoop Dogg, Warren G, Nate Dogg, fucking Dr. Dre. Hated them all. Couldn't stand any of those fuckers, even though I was from the West Coast. So, like, anytime it's fucking Warren G, Snoop Dogg, all that bullshit that pops up, I'm always going to pick the other one.
No,
And it's the Beastie Boys.
it's the Beastie Boys, and this is one of those where I think I have it in my notes that when you're talking about this fucking song, it's heavily influenced by the fucking music video.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the all-time best music videos ever.
Yeah.
And I can't help but be influenced by that.
Yep.
Now, every time I hear the song, I think of the fucking music video.
Yeah.
I pictured the old fucking, old Gran Torino fucking coming over the hill like sabotage.
Well, you know what I also think about when I hear this song is the Star Trek reboot, the J.J. Abrams reboot
Yeah.
of Star Trek, when he's still in the fucking car and he's fucking hauling ass.
Yep.
I can't stand it.
I know you planned it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he's like running from the cops, and he fucking does the
He's
thing
in
off
that
the side of the
Mustang.
cliff.
Yeah. It's a great track.
Yep. And on Instagram, Sabotage won 87% to 13%. Slimmer victory on Twitter, 67 to 33%, but still victory for Sabotage. Now we've got Totally Thrashed to this rock metal album, Korn or The Downward Spiral. So Korn's debut album or Nine Inch Nails' Downward Spiral. This was a tough one for me. Only because I've got a lot of loyalty to Korn because they are from my hometown, Bakersfield, California, and they broke out, while I was in high school in California. So,
Right.
I actually selected them, but the Downward Spiral is fucking phenomenal as well.
Given the time in 94,
94.
94.
I didn't have as much exposure to Korn, but I had more exposure to Nine Inch Nails.
Sure, and I believe that.
So I think I went with Nine Inch Nails just solely because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I have more of an affinity today for Korn than I do for Nine Inch Nails.
Okay. And Korn won on Instagram 61% to 39%. It was a lot closer on Twitter, 60 to 40%, but Korn won both.
Yeah, I'd like to see Korn live. I've seen Nine Inch Nails live. I'd like to see Korn live.
Yep. All right, last one. This song was on repeat. Lightning Crashes from Live or Glycerine from Bush. I went through a phase with both of these songs at one point where I actually would listen to both of them on a regular basis. But if I had to pick one now, it'd probably be Lightning Crashes.
I would rather crash my car into a fucking a telephone pole
Than
and
listen to either.
have the lightning crash into the windshield than listen to lightning crashes. I think the overplaying of that song, it just, and the pacing of it just makes me want to hurt myself. I just can't. Lightning crashes and all mother dies. Like, oh, okay. Do you want me to go commit suicide right now? Okay. No, fuck you and your song. At least I went with Glycerin.
Okay, that's fine. Lightning Crashes won 61 to 39% on Instagram, and then it was a dead heat 50-50 on Twitter.
I can't with REM. I just can't.
REM.
Or if what'd I say? REM
Lightning Crashes was live,
live,
not REM.
Either they're
REM had a different album out in 94.
They're both the same, but live was worse.
Okay. Interesting take.
Yeah, we'll get more of that later.
Yeah. Now, one thing that you hit on that before we take any further step, I want to touch on the overplaying. And that is something that at this point in the 90s, MTV radio stations, they were notorious for fucking getting a song and then playing it forever. Yeah, like
forever.
Like the number one song of the year, or one of the top songs of the year, Ace of Base's The Sign. They played that song.
Oh yeah,
so fucking much over this year, and I enjoyed it at first. But it's one of those songs that after they overplay the shit out of it, you're just like, ugh.
you can hear the first two notes of it. You're like, I know exactly what song this is.
Yeah.
And you would win every single time at Music Jeopardy if you just hearing it.
I know, right?
Because you've heard it. You've heard it standing in the bathroom taking a leak. You've heard it if you were fucking being rolled into surgery for appendicitis. You've heard that song. Saw the sign and it opened up my eyes. I saw the sign. We should have J-Lo on all day today.
Yeah, I know. Just singing
for
all
musical
of these songs.
interlude. Yeah.
So speaking of Ace of Base, so this was like their breakout year, right? They had one single out in 93, but 94 was like their breakout year. Swedish band, like constantly compared to ABBA, right? Two women, two dudes in this like fucking Swedish foursome singing like, you know.
Hang on a sec. 94. We're talking about the music of 1994.
94.
94.
Everybody got that?
Anyway, go ahead.
I forgot.
Ace
what
of
the-
Base.
Oh yeah. And everybody was making all these fucking comparisons to them and ABBA, and I remember actually seeing a fucking interview with the Ace of Base people, and they're like, "We don't understand why people compare us to ABBA so much." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? It's like you're the fucking same band 20 years later." And don't get me wrong, I like ABBA too. Like they had some fun songs back in the day. So again,
doesn't ABBA have right now that they're doing like a
that virtual concert.
Yeah,
with the avatars and
Yep.
shit. Yeah, cool stuff. Anyway, so this is the point where we kind of talk about our history, like where we were during this time. And in 94, 94.
Docking Bay 94. 94.
94.
So, God, just gonna run this right into the ground. Talk about playing things over and over. So yeah, this was my junior year to senior year in high school. So the beginning of 94, I was junior. That summer, fall, transition to senior year of high school. So this was like getting towards the end, but I wasn't quite done yet. The senioritis hadn't kicked in yet in 94. That wasn't until early 95 when I just stopped giving a fuck.
Right.
And it was all downhill from there. But yeah, it was an interesting time for me for sure. And this was also where me and pretty much everybody else at my school was going through a big country music phase. And you're going to see that influence, especially when we get to my top 5 and everything, because there was a period between like 93 and 95 where country music was in just as much of a rotation in my daily soundtrack than
I wish we had your cowboy boots to put on display right now.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a perfect thing to have in the studio just as a reminder of your past.
Yeah, it would be. I think Kristen finally made me throw those
Excuse
out.
me.
But
It's probably a good move, Kristen. But
yeah.
it would be fun to have them on display.
Yeah, either way. So yeah, you're going to see that sprinkled in. And I have in here a sparkle cleaner. So at this time in my life, I also had a part-time job working at a dry cleaners called Sparkle Cleaners.
Okay.
There was several in Bakersfield. And the funny thing was, like, I was one of the only males to work there. Like, every other coworker I had was a fucking female, either my age or a year or two older. So I'm surrounded by fucking women at this job. Not a bad gig at this time. And the only problem was they all had control of the radio because
I was going to say they're all fucking 68 years old. All these women.
no, like they're all my age or maybe a year or two older.
Oh.
Because yeah, I was a junior, so like it was a lot of other juniors or seniors. Or like there was like one girl, she was fucking crazy too. She was in college. She was like a freshman or sophomore in college. And like the first fucking day we were working together, she tried to get me high, and she was telling me about these fucking threesomes she was having on a regular basis in a
Nice.
fucking college dorm room. I'm like, Jesus Christ. It's a lot of information in 30 seconds.
Thanks. Hi, my name is... Whoa, threesomes. Gotcha. Fuck.
Yeah. Where, I was not, at this point in my life, I was not used to this kind of open, candid
Right.
talk about this kind of stuff.
It
But
made you quiver in your cowboy boots.
yeah, it was something. But it was all positive experience. But either way, while we were working at this dry cleaners, we got to play the radio as much as we wanted because customers like barely ever came in. We'd have these fucking bags that they'd buy and they'd fill them up with their clothes and they'd just fucking drop them at the drop box. So there was never anybody in the store. So we just played the fucking radio all day as we're like prepping clothes and getting, doing whatever. So like every song that we talk about today, I've got some fucking memory of being in Sparkle Cleaners and hearing the song over and over again on the radio in the background. And that's where, my appreciation for a lot of these songs kind of came to be, was hearing them on the radio, be it, a country song or the rock station, because we'd go back and forth. A majority of the time they had the country station on, but every once in a while I could convince them to turn it to Crab Radio, which was the local rock station. And, we could actually listen to some decent music on there. And it was, but either way, like all of these songs in 94, I have some sort of memory of 94.
Awfully not.
some type of memory working at this cleaner around all of these fucking women.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. The last thing. So a lot of these songs I absolutely loved at the time. Ace of Base is the Sign being one of them, but I grew out of it over the years. for either just like a maturity thing or the fact that they overplayed the shit out of it. And I'm just like, I can't listen to this anymore. So Ace of Base is one of those, and I'm sure there's going to be more that we're going to talk about where I started off like, yeah, I fucking love this song. And it was just like, yeah, okay, I'm done with you. And it's to the point where I still, can't listen to something like that all the way through. But there are songs that I despised back then that I actually really enjoy now too. So we'll probably get talking about those as we go along as well. That being said, it is your turn, David, to tell us.
Is it my turn?
To tell us where you were in 1994.
94.
94.
Gotta not display my screen on the thing. Can you really even read that? You can't read that, can you?
I can't see shit. No.
All right. So I was graduating high school in 1994. So I was over the hump.
So you were
January.
You were a senior going into
going
the real world.
Sliding my way into community college because at this point I had already, I had been accepted into Embry-Riddle and a couple other schools, but you all right over there?
I feel like a bug just flew into my nose. I don't think it's in there.
Well, we'll rewind the tape and see if we can find it.
Yeah, Jesus
see
Christ.
the exact moment when the bug flies into Jason's nose.
Yeah, something went into my nose as I was drinking. Maybe it was just a hair from my beard, but
that's very, very distracting.
Sorry, Embry-Riddle.
Yeah, so I had been accepted, but the financial aid and everything else, nothing was working out. So I basically had a giant case of the fuckets, and we had it was 94 was an interesting year. Yeah, it was a kind of a once I made a conscious decision, I guess, to open up a little bit, I guess, like open up my personality a little bit, like that Dave personality, I guess, kind of got to come out a little bit more during the school year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was having my most successful year as an athlete. This was my as a swimmer. I was getting a lot of first places. I was got my name in a paper a handful of times. It was
sweet.
A lot of stuff like that was happening. Some recognition in the school. We had our senior trip that year. There's a lot of good stuff. A lot of senior stuff, and because there's a lot to the Book of Dave in 1994. But when you think about it musically, this is when I was driving full time. I had my F-150 that I had that had gotten in a wreck in 1994 because
94.
This guy named Rocco Nicosa fucking ran a red light.
What a name.
Yeah, I'll never forget. And he ran a red light and T-boned me and fucking spun me out on my way to fucking pick up a couple guys for swim practice for going to states. And it fucked up my neck. It totaled my truck. And talk about a country music story. Music at that point was a lot of, this is the Y100, which I've talked about before, was like alternative stuff. We had Q102, which was playing like Ace of Base and more of that genre of music.
Yeah.
And then we had 93.3 and 94 YSP that was playing classic rock. So, and then I had 98.1, which was playing oldies stuff. So I was listening to the Beach Boys and had the Drifters, and shit like that. So I had a super eclectic taste in music. Except for there was no country at all. in
Right.
any of that, because honestly, it just wasn't a thing. You know, I grew up in the shadow of a city, and country just really wasn't something that was super prolific.
And see, that's funny too, because, you know, I think about like these songs and how popular, at least where I'm from, where a lot of this country music was at the time. And I always kind of wondered, like, did it kind of permeate and get to the Northeast and some of these areas, but apparently not. Like,
Well, it may have, but I can tell you that in my little circle of the world, it really wasn't. I mean, after high school and going into 1995, we're going to talk about the people who had debuted. You know, you talk about going to
yeah, we got some notable debuts this year.
yeah, Dave Matthews Band, and starting to go to shows like that, coming out of high school and working, having full-time girlfriends and full-time jobs and shit like that after high school, and trying to deal with the reality of adulthood. Yeah. And because I didn't go right into the military, I didn't go in until I was 21. So I had 3 years of free agency before I fucking signed up for my conscripted servitude. So yeah, music was in the background of all of that. The things that define, like, I would say that a lot of that music that defined the soundtrack was a lot more of like what bothered me. Like, there was music that I just would hear it and fucking just would hate it because of events or something, like that fucking I Swear song.
Right.
Like, I can't fucking stand that song. And
All right, well, I've got a bullet point just for that song, so
yeah,
we'll get there.
There's a couple other songs that I know are super, super popular that are going to come up, and I'm going to be like, no, I can't stand that song. And there's reasons why. And most of it, almost all of it, involves fucking broad. So
The same broad or different?
yeah, I didn't have a lot of girlfriends. Like, I had one like full-time girlfriend that I was like, long-term relationship before. Yeah, I met Kathy in New Year's party in 1994.
Yeah.
So
like
December-
94 going into 95?
Yeah, December
Okay.
31st of 1994 is when I met Kathy
Wow.
for the first time. So yeah, up until that point, it was shenanigans. But yeah, it was a very eclectic, and I think it'll show in my lists of what I liked in 1994. But the other thing too is what didn't make this list was, I was working out a lot.
Oh.
I was working out for swimming. I was working out just for show. Me and my buddy Sean, we would work out a lot just in his fucking basement. And we'd have like techno music and like Ace of Base and stuff like more aerobic type songs for lifting and doing shit like that. So that stuff was all in there as well. But doesn't necessarily make anywhere in the top 25 of that list, but it was there.
Sure. Yeah.
It was there as being that music.
All
So
right.
it was interesting.
All right. Very good. So you talked about some notable debuts, and I have a list here of some artists or bands who made their debut in 1994. Starting off with Weezer. 94.
94.
Starting with Weezer. Yeah, Weezer, they've been around forever. They're still releasing albums to this day. They released their Blue album, which had Undone, had Buddy Holly, which got played to fucking death. So,
Yep.
And then Say It Ain't So, which is my favorite song of theirs. So
Yeah.
good shit. And
the sweater song, Weezer was coming out like 95, 96 when I was seeing a lot of cover bands. Getting into bars and shit like that later on in life and seeing cover bands covering a lot of Weezer.
yeah,
Weezer, Sublime, those types of bands.
yeah,
It was
a
just-
little on the sillier side.
yeah, they were easy songs to cover, and a lot of them, especially up in this area, were really good, especially down the shore.
Yeah. Oasis, never been a fan of Oasis ever. I understand that they have a following and people like them, or they're not even together anymore, right?
Someday we will find it, going in the landslide,
Yeah.
the champagne supernova.
See, and you got
in the sky.
you have to remember something too. This was a time in my life where I did not appreciate the Beatles either. Like, if you had asked Jason Roscoe about the Beatles in 1994, I'd have been like, fuck them. Because I had no real frame of reference outside of their early pop hits and some of the other shit that they did. And then this Oasis comes along and they're like, we're the next Beatles. And I'm like, well, fuck these guys. They're pompous and they're, mimicking themselves after another band that I didn't really care for at the time. So, but this is the year they made their debut. So
They did, and they were never going to be the Beatles, obviously.
yeah.
But there's they had that Champagne Supernova was fucking played out, but they had other stuff that wasn't that bad.
Though I will say that they had a song in Rock Band, the "Don't Look Back in Anger," that was actually fun to play in the game Rock Band. But
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But besides that, I have no love for Oasis. Korn, as we talked about, made their debut. Another group that I didn't realize had been around for this long, Outkast, made their debut in 1994. Which
Was that late? I thought they came out before that.
Before 94?
Outkast?
Yeah, no, like I didn't even know who the fuck they were until like 2002, 2003 time frame. When
Why do I feel like they were out for much longer than that?
No, but
Give me an Outkast song.
Hey yeah, hey
Yeah, I thought they were out before 94.
Yeah.
I guess not.
Don't wanna meet your daddy, just want you in my caddy. But anyway, we're skipping to the 2000s. Anyway, they made their debut. Aaliyah, I always liked her. I thought she had a good voice. Pretty attractive young lady. Gone too soon, obviously, but it's kind of her own fault too. But
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, that's what happens when you rush a plane and then put too much weight on it. When the pilot's like, "I think this is too much weight," and they're like, "Fucking go," and. But she made her debut this year.
Anyway,
Marilyn Manson.
yeah.
Yeah.
The beautiful people.
I was never a fan of him either.
This
His
that
sound
album,
was
that album didn't debut this in 94. Did it?
That's
It was that album?
in my research I saw that his first album was in 94.
94.
Docking Bay 94. 94.
Now I need to know. Marilyn Manson. Continue.
All right. Usher. Little John. Not Little John though.
Yeah.
The Notorious Big.
What?
Brandy.
What?
The Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah.
And Bush.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Dave Matthews is a huge following. Kristen fucking, for the longest time when I first met her, she fucking loved Dave Matthews Band.
Bro,
She was all about, and I know you're a fan too.
Yeah, that was the we would go to 2 shows a year. Me, my friend, my buddy Jeff, our like group.
Mm-hmm.
We would go to 2 shows a year. We'd go see the summer show. That would usually be at the Tweeter Center or one in like an outdoor venue.
Sure.
And then they'd have the winter show, which would be at the Wells Fargo or at an indoor venue.
Yeah.
And we go and see it twice a year. It was huge.
Yep.
Huge.
So yeah, they debuted that year. So yeah, no, just some notable debuts. I also saw a funny meme too. I think this might even have been Luna Girl's meme that she posted this week, but talking about how 1994 was the worst year in music because it was the year Justin Bieber was born and the year that Kurt Cobain
she
died.
did post that. Yeah.
You know who else was born that year? That Harry Styles guy was apparently born in 94.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Which, I mean, he's the dude that's boning Olivia Wilde now, right?
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who can keep track of this shit?
I don't know. I just see.
How do you even?
I see articles in my news feed. Yeah.
Who has time for that shit?
I don't know. Apparently I do.
If it's not related to some fucking human factors thing or plane crash, unfortunately I'm not able to look at it.
All right. Fair enough.
Or fantasy football.
So the next topic that I have here are big events of the year. So big musical events. And the biggest thing that I remember from the time was Woodstock 94.
Yeah.
94. And
94.
And honestly, like, so we talked, I think, very briefly about that Woodstock 99 documentary that just hit Netflix recently.
Right.
And I started watching it and I was kind of pissed because they barely reference Woodstock 94 in that fucking documentary at
Right.
all. Like, they barely, like, just like 2 fucking sentences. Like, oh yeah, it rained a lot during that and it didn't make us a lot of money. And that was it. And then they go into like how they started like modeling Woodstock 99 and all that. But like 94 was fucking huge when it comes to the exposure that it got and the things that came out of it, some of the more iconic moments of the year in music. Yeah, it was fucking huge because it was the 25th anniversary of Woodstock. So they were really hyping it up and they were trying to get back to the whole free love, man.
Yeah.
You know, it was
Come on, man.
it was the early 90s.
Come on,
and,
mudslides, man.
and you know, you saw videos of like just people just walking around just butt ass naked. And just like they got a lot of the original Woodstock performers to perform at this one in addition to newer bands. They had the torrential rainstorm.
Yep.
And like one of the most memorable moments is Green Day fucking playing their set and people just fucking slinging mud all over the fucking place.
Yep.
And people just playing in the mud and going down these fucking slides of mud. And it was crazy.
Yeah. We had aspirations of going up there for
Yeah.
that show. And yeah, it would just never it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
It just wasn't.
It sounded like a fucking great time, but you know, MTV covered the shit out of it.
Yep.
I remember they had, you remember the VJ Kennedy? They had the
Oh, yeah.
chick. She's
She's on Fox News.
Yeah,
or
she ended up
something.
going to fucking Fox, but she was annoying as shit back in the day.
Right.
I fucking couldn't stand her. And she was at night, like after midnight, 1, 2 in the morning. She'd be walking around the fucking tents, like the tent cities where everybody would have their shit set up at Woodstock. She'd just like fucking unzip their fucking tents, stick the camera and a microphone in there. Hey, what are you doing? I'm like, bitch, you are lucky you didn't get throat punched like 20 times doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, it seemed like a good fucking time. And like, I don't know why they just so briefly touched on it during that Woodstock 99
Oh,
thing.
it's because it's a Gen X thing.
It's gotta be.
Yeah. No, it's this Gen Xers. Fuck them.
Yeah.
And we know that it was a good thing. We know that there was a lot of, important, springboard music moments that came off of that.
Yeah. In
Like
fact,
the Green Day
Yeah.
one, because Green Day went big after that.
yeah. Because this
It
was
was real
around the
big.
time where Dookie came out.
Yeah.
You know, Longview is a thing, When I Come Around, those songs. And, they had been around for a while. Like, I was seeing this girl for a while. She was kind of like Luna Girl and Big Swede, where she listened to bands like back when they were underground,
Right.
before anybody else heard of them. And she listened to Green Day, and she had me listen to a couple of their like older tracks. And like every song, by the way, that Green Day did in their early career was all about fucking jerking off. Like, it's very weird. Like some of these other songs that she had me listen to, it's like they're all just singing about fucking jacking it. It's like, man, you guys,
I guess write about what you know, right?
I suppose, but yeah, no, it's fucking yeah. This was when Green Day was really starting to get big, and yeah, I'm sure Woodstock helped. I'm sure that fucking performance and those iconic images of the people having the fucking mud fights and all that. They came out with a 2-disc set from Woodstock 94. I own that. It's in my garage
Yeah,
somewhere.
same.
I meant to fucking drag it out when
I think it's in the binder,
in the sacred binder.
in the Sacred Jedi music binder.
Yeah. But yeah, I have that the Woodstock 94 CD with some good stuff. The Neville brothers did a really awesome version of Come Together on that in that show. But
Oh,
yeah.
it's right at my feet. Here. Oh my God!
are you all right?
No. Jesus Christ!
Do you want
Butthead to America fell out.
me to wait before I move on?
What?
Should
No, I want to make a bunch of noise and not be anywhere near the fucking microphone. All right, let's see what we got here.
This is this is the moment on the show where Dave goes through his CD binder.
Yep, here we go. Everyone should be familiar with the sounds
Yeah.
that this entails.
The sound of CD pages flipping.
Let's see.
All you millennials and afterwards can just tune out at this point.
Yeah, there's a metal mix. What's on this metal mix? Just for shits and giggles. Let's see what's on this. We've got Metallica, Manson, Anthrax, Ministry, Sabbath, Limp Bizkit, Tool, etc.
It's a good mix.
That is a good mix. I should put that in my car.
Hell yeah. Do you have a CD player in your car?
I do actually.
Oh, nice.
It's just old enough. 2014. It's just old enough. Wayne's World, Van Halen. There's Nimrod. Blues Traveler.
Blues Traveler came out that year too. Like
Yes, it did.
for some reason, I thought they were 95 because I don't think that they their singles started hitting until 95 because 4 came out at like the tail end of 94, if I'm not mistaken. We'll do this live while Dave is
It
flipping
was
through
the
his fucking
tail
binder.
end of '94 because
Blues Traveler 4.
well, I have the disc right here. I mean, here's 4.
4 came out September of 94. So
Yeah, the date on it is 1994.
94.
94.
I have a bunch of Blues Traveler in here.
Yeah, the
There
single
it is.
the single for Runaround didn't come out until February of 95.
There it is.
Yep. Woodstock 94.
94.
94.
And it's a bunch of muddy assholes.
Yep. It's fucking great. Yep. And that's us. That's our Woodstock.
Yep.
Woodstock 94.
This too.
And it looked great. It looked like a lot of fun. I totally would have gone if I could have, but
Yeah.
I was on the West Coast, so fuck me, right?
Yeah, we talked. We did. We talked about going, and I'm not sure what exactly happened. Yeah, I don't remember. I'm sure it was something to do with either money or broads or something.
Yeah. So something I realized way late in the game, this might have actually affected my my top 5 if I had realized this ahead of time. But another big event in 1994 was the Eagles' Hell Freezes Over. Now, I don't know how big of an Eagles fan you are, but I fucking love the Eagles.
Fly Eagles Fly.
Yeah, well, different Eagles.
Oh,
The
yeah,
band,
then-
not
then
the football
no,
team. No, you're not an Eagles person?
not really.
I fucking
I
love
mean,
I love the Eagles, and when they came back together and they put on this Hell Freezes Over concert, they fucking rocked it. After being broken up for, I don't know, 20 years or some shit, and having said the famous line, "We'll get back together when hell freezes over," well, the Hell Freezes Over happened. It was a big reunion. The album sold a shitload of copies. I loved every fucking version of every song that they did for this fucking concert. So good, so good. The acoustic version of Hotel California they did on this, that's erection inducing for me. So
Hotel California is not a bad track. I mean, Eagles aren't a bad band. It's just not one of those that I'm like, huh?
yeah, well, I am. So I mentioned before, and we talked about this at length when we did our Nirvana episode, but the death of Kurt Cobain happened in early '94. I think it was
Yep.
April time frame.
Yeah, we did an episode about it.
Yeah, I know. I said that's why we talked about it during our Nirvana episode.
Yeah, but you like made it sound like we didn't know specifically when it happened.
I mean, I don't have it memorized. Like, I'm sure it was around April of '94.
94.
94.
94.
When it happened.
94.
Yeah. And then
Drink, bitches.
I told the story where the day after he killed himself, or the day after they found his body, I saw Weird Al Yankovic in concert, and he did that tribute to Kurt Cobain before they did the "Smells Like Nirvana" song.
Right.
So that was another thing I was doing in '94, music wise.
94.
Yeah.
So, Weird Al's coming and being in concert in the area.
Really?
Yeah.
I should go.
You should.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Maybe
saying.
I will.
Surprised you're not tracking.
Yeah.
94.
I've had a lot of other stuff going on this year, so it's been busy. This was the year
What are
of
you telling?
this was the year of the famous Pearl Jam versus Ticketmaster debacle. I don't know if you remember that, but
It's tangentially, I remember it. I wasn't tracking it.
Yeah.
I didn't really give a shit.
but Pearl Jam basically called out Ticketmaster for being sort of a monopoly on selling concert tickets, and it was this big whole kerfluffle, and
Right.
I don't know how much actually came out of it, but I would imagine that now with the internet, it's all different
mean,
anyway.
So much was different. Like, you think about what 1994 technology-wise represented
Mm-hmm.
to what we have now. I mean, shit. in 94, we were excited about 56K downloads. You know, if you had almost the standard was 56K modems.
Well, see, I don't
that
think
point.
my family even had a computer yet. I don't think we got our first
Wow.
family computer until early '95.
We were, I mean, I was lucky to grow up in a household where we were early adopters of computers and technology.
Because
So,
it sounds like your dad was like kind of
Yeah.
at the forefront of technology.
yeah, between my dad and my grandfather, they were all over it when that shit came out. So I was really fortunate in that regard.
Yeah.
But yeah, in 94, internet is still really, really in its infancy. Like if you wanted to see a show, you're still buying CDs. I mean, you could, still tape from CD. Cassettes were still a thing.
Yep.
And
Oh yeah, I was still listening to cassettes almost as much as CDs, even in '94.
so it's for 94. So what's funny is that, so before I graduated in 94, so I talked about the wrecking Rocco fucking T-boning me, right? So I had this Subaru, right? This all-wheel drive Subaru was the replacement car after that. And there's this whole story about the shenanigans after the fucking truck, right? So anyway, I got this Subaru, and it was a great little car. It was a 1988 Subaru GL, and it was all-wheel drive, and I was driving to school. It was first thing in the morning, and it had it was a little car, it had a sunroof, fucking, and I was coming around this curve, going down the hill, coming around a curve by a basketball court, and they put these little telephone poles, like sawed off telephone poles to keep people from parking on the basketball court.
Sure.
And they put them around this curve, and it's a fairly tight, like it's a 90-degree curve, so you got to really be slowing down and turning. Well, as I was coming down the curve, I decided I was going to change the radio station in the car. And when I went to lean over, I pulled the steering wheel
Oh no.
just slightly to the fucking right, which took the car up onto the curb. And instead of like being stopped by the telephone pole, it leaned the pole over, and then it drove up the pole. Once it was leaned over, it drove, because it was all-wheel drive. So it drove up the pole and then flipped onto its side like this. So I'm like teetering on the fucking side of this thing. What's really funny is there was another car coming this way, some older lady, and they were just stopped, right? And I'm hanging there. I'm in the seatbelt, and this is the cassettes is what kind of brought this back to my memory, because all the cassette tapes and the fucking the sharp ass fucking cassette tape.
Oh yeah, those hard plastic.
The hard plastic. The edges of that are fucking hitting me in the side of the head because they're
like they're raining down on
they're
you.
coming out of the side pocket of the fucking passenger door, like clank, 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 and everything's falling on me. And I'm just hanging in the seatbelt, just like, what the fuck just happened? Like, it happened so quick.
Yeah.
And it's not like I was doing 100 miles an hour. I was doing like maybe 30, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, because you can't go that fast in that turn, especially not in a 1988 fucking Subaru. So I'm on my side, and I can't open the car door here. I can't get out the car door up there. So I fucking pop the sunroof open, right? Climb out the sunroof. Meanwhile, this woman is gawking out of her car. And I kind of go up to her and say, hey, I live down the street. Can you give me a ride to the house? I need to go get my dad.
Yeah.
So she's like, I get in the car. She fucking takes me to my house. So I know what you're thinking. Leaving the scene of an accident, right?
Oh, I didn't even think
You know
about
what Dave
that.
was thinking? Wasn't thinking about that at all. He was just thinking, fuck, I'm gonna get my dad. Because there's no fucking cell phones.
Yeah, like what are you gonna do at that point?
Yeah, there's no cell phones. There's no there's no like houses near me. Like I'd have to trek away from the fucking accident to fucking get to a phone anyway.
Yeah.
So I went to the house and woke my dad up, who had gotten in late. He was fucking pissed. He fucking gets pulls on some pants and fucking groggy goes pulling up get in the fucking pickup truck. He goes pulling up back down to the fucking scene of the crime. And there are cops and ambulances everywhere. There's fucking cop cars. There's there's like 2 ambulances. There's like 3 or 4 cop cars.
Jesus.
Everyone's out of the car. They're in the woods. They're like searching for me because they're thinking, oh, he must have fucking got hurt. He got out of the car and went like staggering into the woods or something.
Oh my God.
Right? Because I'm nowhere to be found.
How long were you gone?
I literally like what, 10 minutes maybe. Like
So in 10 minutes, all of this.
all that happened.
Wow.
Long enough for me to get to the house, wake my dad up, for him to fucking be like, God damn it, like, you know, put some pants on and fucking get into the car, get back to the where it was at. It was only, you know, it was less than a mile away, and get there and to have all this happen. And I'm just like, holy fuck. So my dad smooths it over with the fucking cops, and they're pissed. They're fucking pissed. So he smooths all that over. Thank God, being a kid, having a dad who was a cop.
Yeah.
And so he ends up, the fucking tow truck comes, they put the car on a flatbed, they dump it at the house, right? And I get dropped off at school. Now I'm crazy late to school.
Right.
I show up and I'm walking in the hallway and I see my buddy Jeff, and I'm like, you know, I see him and I'm like, hey, he's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I fucking got in a car accident. Like, we know. Like, what do you mean you know? He's like, Brian fucking came into the school and told everyone you were fucking dead. It's like, he said there was cops, they were looking in the woods. He went and got, you know, this girl I was going out with, Colleen. He went and like found her and told her what had happened. So she was all upset. And like, it was a whole thing in the fucking school.
Wow.
That I was fucking dead after this goddamn accident. I'm like, God damn it.
All because you were changing the radio station.
All because I was changing the fucking radio station.
I'd love to know what song was on.
It was an Alice in Chains song.
Oh, that was on.
That
you had to change.
It was Black Hole Sun.
That was Soundgarden.
Oh, it was a Soundgarden song. It was
Yeah.
it was Black Hole Sun. It was Black Hole Sun.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah, it was, dude. It was a thing.
the greatest story I've ever heard.
Showing up to school after this, and then I think in my yearbook there's probably 2 or 3 mentions of that particular incident.
Yeah.
In the yearbook from that fucking happening, because then I'm walking around in a hallway and people are just like looking at me like, didn't we hear something?
Like, I thought you were dead.
Like Save Ferris, like type shit. This is like, oh my fucking God. You gotta be kidding me.
That is.
Yeah. And this was in like, we graduated, this was like in like May,
Yeah.
and we're graduating in June. So it's like, the field of fucks was so fucking empty. Everyone's got seniorized. We're getting ready to get the fuck out of there. So something
Yeah.
like this goes down, and this is the center of attention for everything.
Oh sure. Yeah.
Like, fuck. Yeah. Fucking classic.
Oh, the scene of the crime.
Yes, leaving the scene of the crime.
Beautiful.
Man, I got fucking, oh my God, that was,
I'm so glad this is the first time I'm hearing this story.
it was just not a good idea for changing a radio station. Yep.
Yeah. From Black Hole Sun.
Yep.
Won't you come
Oh, damn.
wash away the rain?
People wonder why I can't handle that song.
All right, so let's finish up the big events that I had written down for 94.
That was one of the big events.
Yes, indeed it was. That was probably the best of the big events. But this was also the year that Lisa Left Eye Lopez from the fantastic group TLC burned down Andre Rison's mansion. There's if you go back and you watch the TLC Behind the Music, which was an entertaining show, when VH1 was doing the Behind the Musics, they talk about how that whole thing fucking went down and how she ended up fucking burning down his whole house because his bathtub used to be like the cast iron tubs, and then she fucking like burned that and then replaced it with fiberglass, and then the fiberglass just fucking went up in flames super quick. Good shit. But
yeah,
it was a fun story. And yeah, it's Andre Rison, the big Atlanta Falcons wide receiver at the time. Last one that I had, I found this interesting. Like, I had no idea this was a thing until I started doing research, but I'm just going to read this to you verbatim. And this is: Aerosmith becomes the first major band to premiere a new song on the internet. Over 10,000 CompuServe subscribers download the free track head first within its first 8 days of availability. So I remember CompuServe. I remember that was one of like the big internet providers back in the day before AOL blew up in the 90s. And yeah, had no idea that artists were distributing music as early as 94.
94.
94.
And honestly, like I wouldn't even credit Aerosmith for being on like the fucking cutting edge or anything. It was probably something like their manager came to him like, hey, this fucking internet thing that they're talking about.
This internet thing.
Yeah, where like apparently you can like in 30 minutes you can download a full song.
Yeah. In a half an hour,
Yeah.
you can download a whole song.
So they want to put one of our songs on. So just give us one of those fucking shitty songs that we didn't put on the Get a Grip album, and
Right.
we'll put it out on this. That's probably what happened. I wasn't there, so I couldn't tell you. But it is interesting that as early as 94, they started distributing music.
94.
94. So, something else that we always get into when we talk about these years in music is the spillover from the previous year. Because, you know, back in the day, bands didn't release stuff very often. Albums lasted for years sometimes, and you get some spillover. So, some of the big songs that people are saying, oh, yeah, that's a big song from 1994, maybe might have been released in 93.
Right.
Another great example, Aerosmith, who we were just talking about. Get a Grip came out early 93 with Living on the Edge and then Crying, which was the first of the Alicia Silverstone music
Yes.
videos. That all came out in 93.
Yes.
But in 94,
94.
we got the singles and the videos for Amazing and Crazy. Crazy being our first introduction to Liv Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, even though Get a Grip came out over a year before, you know, these two songs were very, very big in 94.
94.
94.
90
Yeah.
Liv Tyler.
Yes. And I had a feeling you'd,
Liv Tyler.
yes.
94.
Right. And yeah, I loved those songs and those videos, but I ended up not putting them on my list because they were technically released in 93. So yeah, what are you going to do? But even though I contradict myself also when we get there, but it's our list. We do what the fuck we want.
Do what we want.
Nirvana Unplugged. We talked about this a lot when we talked about the Nirvana episode. They recorded the Unplugged session in 93, in November of 93 in New York. It aired in December. We didn't get the album, the actual CD, until like the next November in 94. So it was like almost a year later that we finally got the album from that Unplugged, and it ended up being phenomenal. And I mean, even though like a lot of people had seen that Unplugged, not a lot of people got to see it because you know, they didn't catch it when it aired or whatever, or I had only caught like bits and pieces of it. Whereas when you get that album and you fucking play it from start to finish, it's so good. It flows really well.
Yeah.
And it's really Nirvana at their best and at their rawest, you know, unplugged, no bullshit going on, just them fucking sitting in a circle playing fucking good music.
I honestly, I dare I say the best Unplugged that they ever did.
Oh yeah.
You know, out of that series. I mean,
Yeah.
the Eric Clapton one was huge.
Yeah,
but not as musically. I don't think it hit as at least for our generation.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Because I think that entire album is just fucking, it's
really good.
solid.
It is. It's really good.
Start to finish. And then again, you get like the good Kurt Cobain banter in between songs. And yeah, it was fantastic. But yeah, it was almost a year later that we got the fucking CD. And it's funny because, you know, I don't think that the CD really started picking up steam until early 95. So we had that big gap with the Nirvana Unplugged. But I think people were also still starved for Kurt Cobain content because of his untimely passing earlier in the year.
Right.
Ace of Base, The Sign, the actual album was released in November of 93. So even though, again, everybody thinks of Ace of Base as being like a big band from 94, technically it all got released the end of 93. But the only single that they released was that All That She Wants, All That She Wants is Another Baby.
She's gone to mine.
So, sidebar. Whenever I hear the song The Sign now, you know what I think about a lot? That episode of South Park. Do you remember the Frozen Man episode of South Park? So it was like the second or third season, like 99 time frame. 99. And the kids stumble upon a man who's been frozen in ice. Come to find out, he's been frozen in ice since 1996. So for almost 36 months, he's been frozen in ice. And, you know, the whole thing is like they're thinking about unfreezing him, and they're like, oh, we don't know how he's going to handle like waking up in this time. And, you know, like really kind of playing into it. He'll be so confused. And then they had him on display in like a zoo at one point, and like it's like people going across a conveyor just like looking at him in this like glass room, and you can hear Ace of Base's The Sign playing. I saw the sign as they're all like looking at him. He's like an animal in the fucking captivity. It was a good episode.
That, yes, I would agree.
Yeah, but I thought that was funny, and I think about that every time. Getting back into Spillover, I know everybody loves Mariah Carey as much as I do. Her Music Box album released in '93, and she had a shitload of songs from that. But the songs or the singles for Anytime You Need a Friend and Without You came out in '94. Fun fact, that version of Without You was a cover of Harry Nilsson's Without You. Can't live if living is without you, you know, which Mariah's version was fucking solid. Yes. He died like the week that her version of the song fucking came out. I don't know if that's like a cruel irony or what, but...
So she killed him?
No, he died of a heart attack. He actually had a heart attack like the week before. And then like, yeah, he died like
Still suspect.
the week that the fucking single dropped.
Did she like come over and he like got in there and just motorboated her and had a fucking coronary and just...
Maybe. And, you know, that could have been a mutually beneficial arrangement too. You know, he got to motorboat. You know, those massive melons.
Yep.
And then she got to be like, oh, I'm releasing this song. This guy, he just died. You know, so it's like free publicity for the single.
That's right. Yeah.
Maybe.
So she's a killer. That's what you're saying.
Could be.
Like
Could
all
be.
this nice bullshit. All I want for Christmas. Like all that bullshit.
We're going to get there.
Oh, God.
Because
God
that
help us.
song did come out in 1994.
I know it did.
Make my wish come true.
Baby, all I want for Christmas is you.
Other spillover, Salt and Peppa's Very Necessary, released in October of '93, but the singles for What a Man and some other stuff really hit in '94. Sheryl Crow's Tuesday Night Music Club, also released in '93, and really like didn't go anywhere until like early '94 when the single for All I Want to Do came out. Then that's when she started getting popular, but it had been out for a while. Leaving Las Vegas came out, and I think I was the only person who liked that song at the time. And did I get him? I thought I got him. Anyway, but yeah, it wasn't until like April of the next year that they released All I Want to Do, and then all of a sudden she was like, you talk about songs that got over fucking played like a motherfucker. Like, I liked All I Want to Do when it first came out, but after, I don't know, the 8,000th time that I heard it, it's like, I'm ready to die now. You can just kill me. And does Kurt have another shotgun around where I can borrow?
There are definitely worse songs that have been overplayed.
Sure.
I agree. It was definitely overplayed, but there are definitely worse.
Yeah. But that whole album was really good, I thought. The Cranberries, this is an interesting one. Cranberries, everybody else is doing it, but So Why Can't We? Was released in March of '93. So early '93, This was released. And it had the single for Linger, which was very soft.
Have to let it linger.
And then they weren't going anywhere after that until the single for Zombie came out.
Does the 94 have to linger?
Yeah.
There's a 94 and a 94.
Well, and then an interesting fact about that, because the Zombie fucking thing came out in like the summer of '94, and it propelled this album to number one. It was the fifth. Oh, sorry. All right. Well, let me just finish this. We're almost done with the fucking spillover, and then it would be a perfect time for a break. The Cranberries album was the fifth album in history to hit number one more than a year after it had been released. So it had that like year and a half gap almost between the point where it was released and to where it finally hit number one because of Zombie.
I think in this day and age, you can get away with, or you couldn't get away with that.
No,
Like,
definitely not.
Back
like,
then,
things move too fast now.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, back in those days, yeah, shit. Yeah, this came out, and the people had no awareness of when did that album come out. Oh, that album came out a year and a half ago. You didn't conceptualize that passing of time. You just didn't.
Yep. All right. Apparently, we need to take a break. So
Yes.
When we get back, we're going to start talking about some individual songs and albums, and eventually work our way to our top 5 list.
Yes.
So we're going to take a very quick break and be right back after this word
94.
from our sponsors. All righty. You gonna make it? All right, let's see. Being from Ireland, that zombie song for sure has a special place in my heart. Oh, very nice. Which song are you talking about, Alan? That has absolutely no dynamics. Oh God, a cursed pop recently of Kurt Cobain with his head blown off. What the fuck? Sorry, just getting through the chat here. ABBA greater than Ace of Base. I'll agree. Yeah, ABBA was. They were fun. They were a fun band. I actually have their greatest hits album on my Apple Music right now. It's good shit. I really like Gimme Gimme Gimme. Gimme 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 a Man After Midnight. Let's see. Oh, All That She Wants was number 1 in the UK when I was 4. Oh my God. And it's funny because I remember when that song came out. In fact, I think I bought the CD single. No, the cassette single for All That She Wants. All That She Wants is Another Baby. Yeah, I remember buying the cassette single for that. That was the winter of 93. Yeah, because I had just started driving.
Turn on the AC.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go pee real quick, even though I don't really need to, but I'll force it out. I'm turning the AC off, though, once I read.
No, you should. I'm just saying for now.
Yeah.
Just turn it on.
Because I can hear it. Like, I listened back to the show last week when we did have it on for the read, and I could hear it in the background. Even though they say they can't hear it, I heard it.
Yeah. No, totally. You can hear it. All right. Let me turn off the P banner. I'm going to turn that off. Click. And that's off. I love how you guys are having a conversation about ER and Friends. Never a Friends guy. It was never one of my things. Being from Ireland, that zombie song for sure. You know, it's funny. Speaking of Cranberries, I really wanted to have the Cranberries be higher up on my list. Because I do enjoy Zombie, especially, but it's on the big list, but not on the top 5.
So much Black Series and Pops.
I know. Such a giant pile of our hard-earned money.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the good thing is like we could get somewhat of a return on our investment back for these.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Easily.
I don't.
There's maybe of all the pops that are here, there's maybe half a dozen that are not worth what I paid for them.
Right. But the rest are all...
Everything else has more value than what I paid for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you got to remember, a huge chunk were, won. I won them, so
yeah,
there's automatically increases.
Winning.
Exactly. All right, we ready?
Yeah, let me kill the AC. Actually, I'll kill it while you're doing the countdown.
Sounds
so
good.
We get a couple more seconds. Yeah. Fuck it. Do it.
All right, doing 30 seconds right 94.
Misahoni.
94.
And we're back. So, before we actually start getting into some albums and singles, I had a couple other notes to get to. First of all, we talked about I Swear a little bit leading into this. And I have this all starts with a hard to swallow pill that I have to tell all any country music fans that are actually out there. You know, this was one of those big hard to swallow moments because I don't know if you know this because you weren't exposed to country music at the time, but that song I Swear from All for One, they weren't the original people to perform that. It was originally a country song performed by John Michael Montgomery in early 94, like January, February timeframe. So it started off as a country song sung by one guy, but it was the exact same song, same lyrics and all that stuff. I swear by the moon and the stars in the sky. Yeah. So, and I can see you're enthused by that. And of course, the circle of people that I ran with, especially the women, fucking loved that song. They're talking about the country version now. They're like, oh my God, this is the greatest ever. And this fucking John Michael Montgomery guy like got blown into the stratosphere, at least on the countryside, because of this fucking song and didn't go away for the longest time. Then what, 5-6 months later, all of a sudden this All for One version pops up. I swear. And all of these people that I knew, these country fans, are all fucking pissed. Now, I didn't like the original version. I don't like this version. So I didn't give a fuck either way. But they were all fucking furious. They're like, how dare he let these people do this fucking version of this song?
I hear that in Chappelle's fucking his Clayton Bigsby.
Yeah.
How dare he?
Yeah. And and the moment was like, well, you know, it's not his song. He didn't write it, because they were all under the false impression that all of these country singers all wrote their own fucking songs. But right. I'm sorry to tell you that just like with fucking a lot of pop music, none of these fuckers write their own shit. They get, you know, you have songwriters that just write these fucking songs and sell them to fucking artists.
What do you think Bruno Mars did for fucking years?
Yeah. Yeah.
He wrote a lot of fucking music for a lot of other people.
Yeah. Now, granted, there are some artists out there who do write their own shit, and they're to be commended.
Right.
But, you know, I hate to break it to you, but that was not his fucking song. That was the song of some other douchebag who wrote it, who let him do it and be like, oh, fuck, this is really popular. I'm going to also sell it to these fucking idiots over here, and they're going to also make me a couple $1 million. So, yeah, that song was popular twice over in 1994. Once on the country charts and then once on the pop charts.
I hate that fucking song.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Well, it's stupid. It's very trite. It's just very generic. Just bleh. It's nothing. It's a nothing song that tells no story, doesn't do anything but just repeat, oh, I'll do all this stuff for you. Oh, I love you. Shut the fuck up.
It's just awful.
Yeah.
It's just awful. It's all the I hope all the bad things that happen to you and you alone. Like type I just can't.
Yeah.
There was times in 1994 that, you know, the ups and downs of being in relationships and stuff like that, even before the downs of relationships, and this song would come on, I'm just like, this song just irritates me.
Mm-hmm.
And it had been played to the point where when it showed up as like the prom song, it was just like, God, can't.
Yeah, like this, like
can't
more.
We do better.
And more than The Sign, this might have been like the most overplayed song of the year, like more than Ace of Base.
It still gets played. Like I still hear it. It could be being played like a fucking quarter mile away, if somebody's open windows and I hear it, like just it only has to be on in the background, and there's a little receiver in the back of my head that fucking picks up the first. I swear.
Yeah.
By the moon and this. If I could fucking force choke the motherfuckers as they're singing it, like I'd go to the concert and be like, "Oh, look, they're getting ready to sing." Just it's and there's throughout the rest of the year into 95, and dude, legitimately, like all kidding aside, like it is a trigger song for fucking going into and just like triggering off just like bad memories, and it just makes me fucking angry, just does, because I severely dislike that song.
Interesting.
It's funny because this is the power of music, right? This is the power of love.
Oh, well, that song was big this year too. Celine Dion's "The Power of Love." Cause I'm your lady. I actually like that song.
You are my man. I got lots of surprises in there.
Yeah, a girl I was seeing really loved that song. So
you gotta appreciate just the vocal range.
yeah, like Celine Dion is
Yeah.
super talented, like
Yeah.
just vocal wise. You know, she sings a lot of just trite, like
with
the
her
same
floppy
relationship.
head and her beady eyes, you know. But
You are a racist, sir. You're a racist.
fuck Canada.
Oh, that's so good. I can't wait to talk about that
I know,
movie.
it's fucking great. I can't wait either. Anyway, can we not talk about I Swear like
Yeah,
ever
no,
again?
I just wanted to bring that up because
Ever?
I don't know how many people, know that it was a country song before in the same year that it was eventually sold to these Nimrods. So anyway, big happy birthday today to one Michelle Ndegeocello of John Mellencamp and Michelle Ndegeocello singing Wild Nights fame.
Oh,
Big 94 song.
is calling.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Ooh-wee,
Wild Nights is calling.
But yeah, now here's the thing that like when I was told that it was her birthday today, I'm like, oh man, she's got to be like, she's got to be like 65 or something like that. Because again, 94, that was 28 years ago.
94.
She's 54 today. So I'm like, fuck, she was young.
She's only 7 years older than I am.
Yeah. So I'm
That
like,
means when this was done, she was
like 20. No, 24. She was young.
25.
25. Yeah, no, she was super young when like it's a little deceptive because when you watch the video, I think it's the bald head kind of
Yeah.
gives
For
her a much
Melican.
older look.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she was super young during this song.
That's a good song.
Yeah, it was a very good song. Might talk about it again later. All right. You want to talk about some albums of the year?
Yes.
All right. So we did talk about some spillover, which we get at the beginning of the year, but then Alice in Chains' Jar of Flies comes out. Now, what was your thought on Alice in Chains back in the day? Because it feels like the Alice in Chains, the fucking Stone Temple Pilots, that was sort of the heir apparent to what was going on in grunge the year or two before. This was kind of like that next sort of step, I guess.
No, I liked what Alice in Chains was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to look at, let's say, something in my top like 40 songs, there's songs like I Stay Away.
Yeah, that's good one. That was probably my favorite song on that album.
Yeah. Actually, it looks like in my personal top 40, I think that's the only Alice in Chains song that's in there.
No Excuses is funny because every time I hear No Excuses, that opening riff, I always think it's that fucking Jane's Addiction song, the pet song. We'd make great pets. We'll make great pets. For some reason, it's a very similar intro, and I always think it's that fucking song. But yeah, this was kind of when Alice in Chains started to become big. Oh, look at this. February 19th, John Michael Montgomery's Kicking It Up was number 1 on the pop charts. So this is, you know, the I Swear guy and his album fucking on the overall pop charts hitting #1. So just something to talk about. This was Toni Braxton's debut also. Her
Whatever happened to her?
I don't know. She did the last thing I remember seeing her do was like Unbreak My Heart in like 97, 98. Unbreak my heart. Unbreak my heart. Say you love me again. But yeah, no, she had a couple of hits from this debut album. The Soundgarden's follow-up album to their earlier shit, Super Unknown. This is the Black Hole Sun album. I think this is also the Fell on Black Days.
Right. Which is funny, like, yeah, Black Hole Sun's on that album.
Oh, Spoon Man
Yeah.
was also.
But Fell on Black Days definitely is in my top 40
Yeah.
for with Soundgarden.
Yeah, and I enjoyed Black Hole Sun in the beginning, but that was another overplayed song. It was one that they played the shit out of. The video was like super fucking creepy. Like if you watch the music video, because again, I was super into the MTV at this time. So like I knew all of these music videos inside and out, and the fucking video for Black Hole Sun was just fucking creepy and weird and just very disturbing.
Yeah, so Black Hole Sun, besides the fucking, you know, the amazing traffic accident of 1994, the the second amazing traffic accident in 1994, other than the fucking T-boning of the F-150. There was like, it seemed like this song was always on when I was in a shit mood. Like it would come on the fucking radio, and I was so sick of fucking hearing it because it just seemed like it either was the cause of a shit mood or I was already in a shit mood. But regardless, I always was like, I don't want to hear the song. And it wasn't even really a hate thing. It was just fuck this song. I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it just seemed like again, talk about how music has this influence, right? And the soundtrack of your life, and music has impact and meaning into what's going on within your life. It's not just trite things that are happening. It's like, oh fuck, this fucking song actually gives me this feeling where I have to make an adjustment to my life.
Well, yeah, and especially where we were at this time in our lives. You know, fucking the end of high school.
Yeah, I'm 18 fucking years old. I got the rest of my life. I have no fucking clue what's going on because everything that I had planned for the rest of my life fell the fuck to pieces. So, that's STP song. I don't think that came out this year. Fall to Pieces.
That was actually Velvet Underground or Velvet Revolver.
Velvet Revolver.
Yeah, that was Scott Weiland joined with the GNR folks.
That's a great song.
Yeah, I do love that song.
But yeah, my fucking life was a shit show.
Yeah,
an absolute shit show because I had no fucking direction, and it was just not good.
Yep.
It was not good.
And, you know, this whole album, the Soundgarden album, because, you know, they popped at the same time as fucking Nirvana, Pearl Jam, all those guys in the early grunge. This was like their follow-up, their first album after all that. This seemed kind of like a sellout album to me, honestly. Like this seemed like Soundgarden's version of the Metallica Black Album.
Okay. Yeah.
But anyway, that's kind of how I've thought of it. Pantera had a new release, Far Beyond Driven, which I recall seeing one of those tracks in your top 25 list or your
in my 25 list. Yeah, it was in there.
So I don't remember this at all, honestly.
Pantera.
Yeah, like the last Pantera I remember was the Vulgar Display of Power, a couple years before this.
Well, yeah, and I'd been listening to Pantera, so like going into '94, I had this was kind of on my radar, so I had procured a cassette that had been copied that had this album on it. So I'd been listening to it.
Yeah. Pink Floyd released an album this year, The Division Bell, which I don't remember any tracks from that, honestly. Like, I like Pink Floyd, but I don't recall.
I
recognize the album cover. I'm like, oh, I've seen that a million fucking times with the two faces looking at each other.
And I listened to some of the music, and I was not, like, none of it keyed off any kind of interest at all.
Beastie Boys' Ill Communication came out. In addition to Sabotage, I recall that having a couple of other good tracks on it too. But yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about movie soundtracks. This was the year of The Lion King.
Right.
And Elton John's mini comeback. Because he had 2 big hits from the fucking Lion King soundtrack, and then he sort of parlayed that into a new album release. I think it was the next year in 95 when he released a new album and was kind of like, had a small resurgence in his fucking career.
Yeah. Lion King, shit. I had younger sisters, so we watched the Disney movies with fervor.
Oh, yeah.
And so knowing all of the words to all of the songs that were involved in the Lion King movies.
Yeah, and The Lion King was fucking huge that year.
Oh, yeah. It was,
like it was a huge mainstream movie, not just for fucking kids.
It was, I think The Lion King was the bookend to, well, I don't know, maybe not the bookend, but it was inside that string of Disney movies where they're just animation perfection. When you have Beauty and the Beast is in there, The Little Mermaid, like you have these classics.
Yeah.
These Disney animated classic movies. I think at the far end of that was probably Toy Story.
Yeah, but that was also CG too. So.
Right. So, but I think that from the story perspective, that was kind of the end of that era of that story.
The hand drawn animation.
Yeah, that big storytelling.
Yeah,
but
it was big. Yeah, it was like a massive production.
But you think about it, like how big Beauty and the Beast was in The Lion King.
Yeah,
huge. I think we didn't until we got to like Finding Nemo. Probably you didn't get back to that.
Yeah. So yeah, that was huge for Elton John. Those songs were fucking everywhere. The Can You Feel the Love Tonight and Circle of Life both got played pretty extensively. Stone Temple Pilots, the Purple album came out. This was I think they had an album or 1 or 2 before, but this was like their big introduction into mainstream.
Interstate Love Song.
Yeah, that and Vaseline.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were good. But it's funny too is you look at some of these bands, you're fucking Stone Temple Pilots, Soundgarden, Nirvana, all one big thing in common. Dead lead singers, mostly due to their addiction problems.
Sad face.
Yeah,
very.
very.
Bring it down, Jason.
I know.
94.
94.
All for none.
All for none.
Boyz II Men had their huge fucking album this year, the Boyz II Men 2. That's the one that I'll make love to you.
Like you want me to.
Never cared for that.
You tight, baby, all through the night I make. See, being from Philadelphia, I can't say anything bad about Boyz II Men.
Oh, that's right. The Motown Philly.
It is
crew.
In my contract where I cannot say anything bad about Boyz II Men.
All right, fair enough. And that's pretty much it for everything that we didn't talk about. Well, right at the end of the year, December 24th, Pearl Jam released Vitalogy, which was a very divisive album for those that were a big fan of their 10 album. Quite a departure, and they had a very interesting approach to how they did their music after that.
I'm not a huge Pearl Jam fan. I'm not like one of those people that was hanging off every word. I have a couple of Pearl Jam songs that if we made our ultimate top list of Pearl Jam songs, or ultimate top list of songs just in general, there is a Pearl Jam song that's on there, but that song is on there because of a story that's with it, not necessarily because of the song. But that's like that with anything, right? It's sometimes it's where you were, the story behind it, like.
Oh sure, yeah.
That's I think for a lot of these.
Yeah, and like I said,
for that,
for me, like so many of these, I listen to these songs now, and I'm right back in that fucking dry cleaners, working those night shifts with the girls. So, So moving on to some of the hot singles of the year, we've already talked about some of the biggest ones: Ace of Base is The Sign, All for One I Swear, Boyz II Men I'll Make Love to You, Celine Dion's Power of Love. One song that I never liked, and I don't know if I'm gonna get any heat for this or not, but the fucking Lisa Loeb song, Stay. I hated that song from the moment I fucking heard it. You say I only hear what I want to. Never liked that song. Ever.
Say so all the time.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my god, we need to get J-Lo to sing that song.
I need all the words.
Yeah. That was good though, the so. I don't know. How'd you feel about Lisa Loeb?
I was indifferent. It's fine. The couple of songs that were out there were fine.
Yeah. More Ace of Base. R. Kelly's Bump and Grind. I forgot that was the song. I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind.
Of course you don't, R. Kelly.
Yeah.
Got to piss on you.
Drip, drip, drip.
Drip, drip, drip. I want to pee on you. Haters wanna hate. Lovers wanna love. I don't even want none of the above. I want to piss on you.
Got to work on our harmonies.
Yeah.
Madonna, who like seems to never go away.
Nope.
You know, despite like all the weird shit she did in the early 90s, from your Like a Prayers to your fucking erotica, all the crazy shit she did, she'll come back and she'll have a fucking hit. And she did this year with I'll Remember, which was from a soundtrack to a movie that I fucking barely remember, called With Honors. Never saw it. It was a Brendan Fraser and fucking Joe Pesci. Yeah. Just, you know, weird random movie, but the song was great. I remember really enjoying the song. I went back and I watched the music video for it over the last week. And, you know, Madonna, she, throughout the whole fucking 90s, she comes back like every year, like once a year or once every other year, and has like a big fucking hit all the way through the end of the fucking 90s.
I'll tell you, when I was thinking about this and kind of like putting together my list, you know, Madonna is in the movie Evita.
Yep.
And
Was that in 94?
No, it wasn't. It was
Okay.
in 96.
Oh,
but I thought it was in 94 because I was like, oh man, I feel like I thought it was in 94. So I started like searching for some of the stuff because there's like, you know, if you're listening to this now, when we do the music in 96, you know, think about what I'm about to say. But there's some music off of that, from that movie, that's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Really good. She did. That's a great portrayal.
Her and Antonio Banderas.
Yes. Antonio Banderas. Why can't we have Antonio Banderas, the sexy bee for the Nasonex? The Nasonex commercials.
I don't know.
We'll have him instead of Andor. The Inigo Montoya.
Oh, I see what you're
The
saying.
Inigo Montoya
Yeah,
character.
yeah,
Have Antonio Banderas.
yeah. Okay.
Be so much better.
Probably. I lost my place.
You were at Madonna.
Yeah. Coolio's Fantastic Voyage was big this year. I completely forgot about that fucking song. No real love for that either. I see Big Mountains, Baby, I Love Your Way. That just reminded me of the movie Reality Bites.
Oh, baby, I love your way.
And I actually didn't dislike that song.
Yeah.
And then
Overplayed though.
yeah, but then, you know, the whole Reality Bites thing, that's like fucking, that's,
Now it's in my head. Fuck.
first of all, like going back and rewatching the music video for that, it showed the clips from the movie Reality Bites. Fucking
Right.
Winona Ryder was fucking smoking hot
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, I
Yeah.
forgot how gorgeous she was back in the day.
Yeah. And when we were at our peak Gen Xing, like our peak, just like, oh my God, can we get more of our Gen Xing? She was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm sure she was stealing everything, and you know, she was like,
Yeah.
I'm sure she was doing such bad shit, and we were just looking at her going like, oh man, I wish she would shoplift me. Although shoplifting, I think, came later.
Yeah, that was, fuck, that might have been in the 2000s. I don't remember.
Might have been.
Chat, look that up.
Regardless, yeah, she looked good in that movie.
Yeah, but that's, you know, seeing that song title reminded me of that and reminded me of her, and like, oh yeah, that was.
Oh, baby,
And you know that movie, fucking Reality Bites, that's like peak Gen X movies. Also, you know, her
Yeah.
and fucking Janine Garofalo.
Yeah.
Garoppolo. Is it Garofalo or Garoppolo?
Garofalo.
Janine Garofalo.
Garoppolo is your fucking quarterback.
Oh, Jimmy. That's right. Hopefully not much longer.
We'll see.
And then what's his name?
You're about to get a stick of gum and a fucking a shiny nickel
Yeah.
for him. Maybe.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
Do 8th round draft picks exist? we'll take an 8th round draft pick for him.
I hear there's a punter available.
Yeah.
December 12th, 2001 for the shoplifting.
Okay.
There you go. See, thank you, chat. Always on it.
Always coming through.
That's right. Smarter than we are.
Indeed.
94.
94. Oh god, this was also the year of some weird fucking kind of like light alternative bands coming out. Bands like Collective Soul. Like, oh, heaven let your light shine down.
Right.
Fucking the Crash Test Dummies. You know, so you had some of that. The 10,000 Maniacs. You know, the best part about that song, by the way, is the Weird Al parody that came like the next year.
Okay. That, I mean, it was interesting. It was an interesting one-off.
Yeah.
Collective Soul wasn't bad.
No, like I like the song December. But again, it's very, you know, they were touted as like this new alternative band, but it was like very just like light kind of.
It was the
smooth jazz.
It wasn't smooth jazz. It was more like, you know, like, you know how you go to IKEA and you're kind of like walking through IKEA and you're like, oh, look, it's alternative. Like it's IKEA alternative.
Yeah.
As opposed to like going to like a niche shop to look for alternative.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Look, a spider.
All right. One other single.
Wonder if he'll walk in front of the camera.
Like kind of like the fly at
The fly at fucking
Rogue One.
Motherfucker.
So here's one that I wanted to talk about. This was also the year of Beck, and the song "Loser" came out.
Yeah.
I'm a loser, baby.
So why don't you kill me?
So this was one of those songs when it initially came out. I'm like, oh, this is kind of catchy. It's very different, unique, overplayed like hell. And then the more I listened to it, and the more I listened to Beck, I'm like, I don't like this. And like for some reason, Beck really got embraced by these fucking pretentious, like music expert wannabes. And because like a couple years later, he released another album, and they're like, this is the greatest album that's ever existed in mankind. And I listened to a couple tracks. I'm like, this is shit. And I don't like Beck at all. I don't see the appeal. And I think people who were like saying how great he is and how great his music is, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
They like The Last Jedi.
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got no love for Beck.
I was never into that song.
Yeah.
I just like, it's one of those like the roller skating, like you're roller skating, like, oh wow, this song,
Yeah.
great. It'll be over in 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah. So
If only back in those days, like now, in the the essence of my old age, I can sit there and go like, this will be over soon.
yeah.
But back in those days, you'd be like, fuck! Fuck this fucking song! Fuck! I wish it was over!
And sorry, Kelly, but she mentioned in the chat she actually does like the song. Hey, you have your right.
Right.
I
think if J-Lo sung that song or like
Ooh.
anybody else,
that would be good.
maybe we can do that. Maybe
Yeah.
we could do that. Maybe if we pull up,
Let's see if we can make
maybe
that
if we
work.
pull up the lyrics, or the lyrics like showed up on Dave's notes at the end of the show to that song, that J-Lo would do a rendition that we would appreciate.
All right. Now we are already over 2 hours in. Do you think we should start speeding things up and get into our lists?
No.
Okay, because
What do we have left? There's
only-
movies. We haven't
yeah.
even mentioned fucking Pulp Fiction yet.
right, girl.
You'll be a woman soon.
Yeah. So we had some notable movies released this year that either had to do with music or had good soundtracks. We talked about Forrest Gump already.
Yep.
And then Pulp Fiction. God, Pulp Fiction. What a fucking movie.
Jesus. Pulp Fiction, this in 1994, Pulp Fiction being one of those movies where, I went to see Wayne's World multiple times in the theater just because it was funny, right? Pulp Fiction is one of those movies I went to see multiple times in theater because I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
What the fuck just happened? So you go in there again to try and piece together like, okay.
Yeah, and then you start to realize like how brilliant that fucking movie
Yeah,
is.
it's just like, and the fourth time in the movie theater, and you just can't help but, just appreciate it.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack just kind of, everything kind of fits.
Yeah, and me and a couple of my friends owned the soundtrack, and it had a lot of the good. It had that fucking open scene. The
Yep.
It also had like a lot of clips from the movie intermixed in on the
Yep.
soundtrack. It had the "Girl You'll Be a Woman Soon"
And
and
the Ezekiel clip was in there.
yep.
I think my favorite thing on there was the counting flowers on the wall. That don't bother me at all.
Roll
Play-
some cigarettes and watching
Captain
Kangaroo.
Kangaroo, don't tell me
I've nothing to do. Ooh, we could pull that one off.
Yeah.
Singing the deep voices. And,
Yeah, we should. We should do
Ooh.
that one.
Yeah. But yeah,
We can make that happen.
yeah, great fucking soundtrack. Very off the wall, like kind of all over the
Right.
place. But Tarantino was famous for that. He did the same thing with Reservoir Dogs and the
Mm-hmm.
fucking Stuck in the Middle with You.
Yeah.
That whole fucking
Like
sequence.
if you can listen to that song and not think about somebody's ear getting cut off, then
Yeah.
good on you.
yeah,
That
yeah.
means that you had if you haven't watched the movie, then
Yeah, but the obviously the girl you'll
spoiler alert. Sorry about that.
be. Yeah, well, yeah, you
should've
just-
warned.
You spoiled a 30-year-old movie.
I should have warned people. I apologize.
Yeah. But the girl you'll be a woman soon. There was a music video for that. It was big. It got some traction.
Mm-hmm.
So don't you know, girl? Other movies. So this was also the year that Dumb and Dumber and The Mask both came out.
Right.
Both Jim Carrey classics.
Yep.
Dumb and Dumber, I actually own the soundtrack too. There is a really funny track by the Butthole Surfers on there. They remade Hurdy Gurdy Man. I don't know if you remember that song it's like an old song from when like a star on the end of my sleep, I opened my eyes to take a peek to find that I was by the sea. Anyway, they did their own remake version of that where they're basically like turning the volume off and on like the whole time. It's like, and all you're hearing is and it's fucking hilarious.
Okay.
But that's on the Dumb and Dumber soundtrack.
I don't think I've ever had the Dumb and Dumber soundtrack.
Yeah, I bought it because there were just too many funny
I
tracks
mean,
on
it's
it.
a great fucking movie.
Yeah, but then you have The Mask where
Right.
Jim Carrey did the whole Cuban Pete
Right.
thing.
Chick chicka boom, chick chicka boom, chick chicka boom.
Yeah, and there was like a music video for that at the time. So
Dude, Jim Carrey. Holy shit! If he wasn't the fucking hottest thing in
oh yeah,
and-
like the whole early '90s, like
Yeah.
he was the
Ace
fucking guy.
between Ace Ventura
Well,
and
even-
these movies, the
Even
Cable
before
Guy,
that, like he rolled into Ace Ventura being like the most popular person on In Living Color.
yeah,
He was like far outshining everybody else on that cast. Rolled right into Ace Ventura, and then Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, Cable Guy, fucking Batman Batman Forever.
yep. Just the versatility of his goofiness.
Yeah,
was
we-
just fucking fantastic.
We should do an episode Jim Carrey in the '90s, like we did Adam Sandler.
We would need 3 hours
Yeah,
because it would just be
it'd be good.
it'd be spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah. we
Somebody
should
write
do
that down.
Yeah.
So,
Girl.
but yeah, I didn't have the soundtrack to The Mask, but I know somebody else that did, so I recorded Cuban Pete onto a cassette, and I had that.
Chicka boom, chicka boom, chicka boom.
Rick, I'll make you run, Pete. I'm thinking about me. Oh yeah, Liar Liar. That was another great fucking Jim Carrey movie from the '90s. Everybody's been real nice. Well, that's because you have big jugs. I mean, your boobs are huge. I mean, I want to squeeze them. Mama.
Oh man.
Oh, good shit. Anyway, the only other soundtrack I had was The Crow, and we kind of talked about that already.
Yeah.
Yeah, had a pretty wide variety of artists.
Yeah.
Popular artists at the time.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I'm pretty sure like Pantera had a song. It was a cover. The Badge was on the Crow soundtrack.
Yeah.
Because that's on within my top 40. I think that was the only one off of the Crow soundtrack that was on my top my big 40 list that I made.
Yeah.
Which I surprised myself when I was making my list. Speaking of, since we're I think we're getting into our list right now.
Yep, I think that's the next thing on the agenda.
Let me go ahead, and Luna Girl would like to thank each and every friend and follower who contributed to the making of our mixtape.
Yes,
Our
that's
Spotify
right.
our Spotify mixtape. So the mixtape of 1994.
94.
94. And she's humbled by how many of you played along this week across 4 of our social media platforms. She will post a link to the playlist this evening following our show for all of us to enjoy. She sends her love, and this is a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
All these songs, all of you contributing is spectacular, but we have to thank Luna Girl for putting this all together. This is definitely a labor of love for her, I know, and I'm glad we were able to get this on the calendar at a point where it worked out, and she was able to put her whole heart into it. And
Fuck yeah.
we know that she did. So thank you, Luna Girl. Thank you to all the listeners for contributing some stats for our mixtape.
Oh, I haven't heard this or
Yes.
seen this.
So let's see. Number of songs requested by our followers, 504.
Nice. Different songs.
It's number of songs.
Nice.
Number of followers who requested songs is 31.
Okay.
The most requested movie soundtrack was from The Crow,
Okay.
believe it or not.
I'm gonna have to go back and like relook at the Crow soundtrack because it's been coming up a lot today, and it came up a lot in my research, but I don't remember many tracks from that at all. So I got to go back and
The Crow was one of those movies in '94 that, because of, homeboy fucking getting shot,
Yeah, Brandon Lee.
and like how everything played out, I think that's one of the reasons it amplified everything about that movie.
yeah, for sure.
Plus, it was kind of a grunge soundtrack.
Yeah, for sure. All right. More stats.
No, well, so what I have from Luna Girl is I have our followers top 5.
Oh, I'd love to hear those.
So-
Or do we want to intermix those in with our top 5?
Well, it's a conglomeration. So we have there's a 5-way tie for 5th, a 2-way tie for 4th, 3rd, and then you have 2nd in our 1st place. Then we have everyone's guesses for your top 5.
Nice. And I have everybody's guesses for yours as well, and I have my own guess for your top 5.
Right. So,
Oh shit, Kristen texted me.
yeah, what happened? What'd we do?
Shut the fuck up. She just texted me 10 minutes ago and said the 49ers re-signed Garoppolo. You fucking liar. I have to look this up right now. I know she's doing this just to fuck with me.
Oh, this totally has to be a thing. Is Scott in the chat? Scott,
I haven't seen him in
Scott,
there.
are you out there? Yeah, he is. I see use and abuse out there.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Did this really happen?
Jimmy Garoppolo, 49ers, finalizing restructured contract to keep QB in San Francisco. In a surprising twist, Jimmy Garoppolo's time in San Francisco is not over, and he will remain with the 49ers as an experienced backup to Trey Lance. Okay. All right, that's not bad. That's the best news we could have gotten. Like if he's willing to just be the fucking backup, then I'm cool with that.
Wow.
And takes a massive pay cut because they're paying him way too fucking much money right now.
So they're going to restructure. They're going to restructure his deal. Wow. There are so many fucking teams out there right now that need a fucking quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what?
And you know what? And this,
I don't want to dwell on this right now because we're talking about the music in '94.
Yeah.
We could go off on a football tangent.
Thanks, Kristen.
I don't want to do right now.
Yeah.
So,
All right, stats. So I have your music stats. You have my music or
top
guesses.
fives.
Yeah.
Top fives. So,
Yeah, I forgot where we were going when I got that goddamn text.
yeah.
All right, but I'm gonna bring up the guesses for yours,
All right.
which I think some of these are hilarious.
And then so I'm going. Let's just go ahead. I'll give what our followers' top 5 songs.
Sure,
are
let's do
from
that.
1994. Right.
94.
So 94.
94.
So in a 5-way tie for 5th. Okay, this is based on all of our listener inputs.
Mhm.
A 5-way tie for 5th. We have Spoon Man from Soundgarden.
Okay.
We have Bad Habit from The Offspring.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the Offspring, did we?
We did not.
Yeah.
I mentioned them, I think.
Yeah.
Interstate Love Song by Stone Temple Pilots.
Okay.
Tootsie Roll. The Spotify. Oh, that's old. Let me see that Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Roll.
And that's a song you can't even hate.
Ah,
It's a funny song.
You just got to get down.
Yeah. All right.
And then Chutes and Ladders from Korn.
Yeah.
Was the fifth.
Okay. Fifth.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And a two-way tie for fourth. You have Lightning Crashes by Live. So here's the thing, like Live is they're from York, PA.
Okay.
Like people call them a Philly band, they're not. They're from York, okay? And I have family that's from New York, PA, York, like
Not
York,
New York.
York Peppermint Patty.
Right.
That's where it's from.
Right.
Right. This band is from that area, and the reason they sound like that is because of how depressed that fucking area of the country is.
All right.
I can't even that song literally makes me want to hurt myself.
Yeah.
But it had a two-way tie for fourth. Whatever. And then the other song is Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Elton, we talked about him.
Tonight.
Yep.
That was for fourth. Third place is Black Hole Sun, the song that I don't want to listen to.
That got Dave into a car
Yeah,
accident.
the song I just don't want to listen to. Not because I hate it, just because it's just bad things. Second place is Sabotage by the Beastie Boys.
Nice.
Which, how can you not? It's
Good
fucking
song.
great. It's fucking great.
It's a good song.
And first place is Zombie by the Cranberries, which surprises me.
That's interesting that would be the most requested song.
It's a great song.
It is. Like, I have nothing wrong with it,
It's
but
a great song.
it's interesting that ended up being our listeners' number one requested
Number one
song.
requested song.
All right, I can respect
Out
that.
of a sampling of number of songs, 500. Over 500 songs.
That's fucking great.
So that was awesome.
Well done, listeners.
Yes.
And Lunar Girl.
Yes. Thank you, Lunar Girl, again. And we have from our top 5 list. So what we did was we gave Lunar Girl 25 songs.
Yep.
And within that 25 songs is our top 5
Correct.
somewhere.
Yes. But there were also some red herrings.
There are indeed. So
Which, I mean, you've already probably figured some of them out, like when we talked about I Swear.
you would hope that people would pick up on those.
Yeah.
You would hope.
And knowing you and knowing certain things about you, I knew one of the red herrings right off the fucking bat. Which apparently some of the people who guessed your top 5 did not see that.
Right.
So
I really should put.
So I think we should do our top 5 and then get into what some of the people guessed and go from there. So you ready to get started?
Oh yeah. Hang on. Here's my top 5 is right here. Okay.
All right. So how about I start?
Okay.
All right. So to get started with my top 5, I want to take a minute or two and give much respect to the man who made a difference in my world. And although most men are hoes, he goes on the down low, cause I never heard about him with another girl. But I don't sweat it, because it's just pathetic to let it get me involved in that he said, she said crowd. I know that ain't nobody perfect. I give props to those who deserve it. And believe me, y'all, he's worth it. So here's to the future, cause we got through the past. I finally found somebody who could make me laugh. Hey, you so crazy. I think I want to have your baby.
What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man.
Yeah, What a Man is my number 5. I fucking love that song. I loved it back then. I love it now. You can't not love that fucking song. And
OMG, that's fucking great.
I had that.
I love it.
I had that Salt and Pepper album. Fucking In Vogue. Those girls from In Vogue, not only are they extremely talented, some of the best voices out there, like 2 of them are super fucking hot too, like
Right.
smoking fucking hot. You add them to Salt and Pepper, this fucking massive conglomerate of just awesome songness,
Right.
singing about their men, and yeah, I fucking love it. I love that song, and I'm not ashamed of it. So
That's awesome.
yeah, What a Man, my
I
number
will-
5.
I will say that for your number 5, no one from the listeners, it would appear, had gotten that. From Chantal, her guess for your number 5 was Cotton Eye Joe.
That wasn't my thing. We didn't talk about that either. Well, why don't we not read any of these until we finish our top 5, and then we can kind of contrast and compare, because
Fair enough.
you might read something that's going to be later on in my list, and
Okay.
so why don't we get to your top 5 or to your number 5?
My number 5 is I'm trying to think of the words to the song so I could sing it, but I can't think of them right now. But it's Least Complicated by the Indigo Girls.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the Indigo Girls.
Right. So what's really funny is this song, it's so weird, right? It's like, it's one of those weird, like, why really that song? It's melodically just I like it.
It's very like brooding and just kind of a
Two stories upon the street. It's like it has this like, but there's parts of the song that I think are very like, there's like, it starts here and then it kind of like drops into this melody, and then it like kind of, I just like how the song flows, and they have great voices. I've heard them live, believe it or not.
Sidebar. Whenever I hear the Indigo Girls, I think about South Park again, another South Park reference. Do you remember like season 2? This might have been season 1, where they had the substitute teacher, Miss Ellen, and like all the boys were like love struck when they saw her, like love at first sight. And then they found out later that she was a lesbian. And Chef's like, yeah, the only lesbians only like other lesbians. So the boys thinking, oh, we got to be lesbians too.
Right.
So they all show up at like Cartman's house, and they're like, oh, I'm going to be a lesbian because I got these killer Birkenstocks. Oh, and I got this Indiglo Girls CD. And my mom says if I want to be a lesbian, I got to learn how to lick this carpet.
Right. So then they're all like on the floor licking the carpet.
But I just remember the Indigo Girls.
No, at least, so yeah, my number 5, Least Complicated.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
Cool. Your number 4.
My number 4 is Hey, hey, come out and play. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Then like,
yeah, we completely blew past The Offspring.
this is such a just turn it up and just fucking just like just go nuts song. And I think of all the kind of broody, just like the grungy and all the other stuff,
I'd almost put them in the category of like punk rock, like kind of a 90s punk rock kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I could see that. And there's been enough. I don't think I've seen The Offspring live, but I've been to enough cover bands that have played The Offspring that have made this song like so real and so much fun. Like,
you gotta keep them separated.
I super enjoy it, and every time I hear the song, I just like, it's, whereas Black Hole Sun is that I need to change it. Like this song might come out and play is like, oh, gotta turn this up, because it does it like it switches into this like, just, all right, here, I'm gonna go party. I need something to drink. I need some sort of liquor that's gonna get me drunk really fast, so that I can fucking just go and just be crazy.
Yeah,
that's what it reminds me of.
Nice, very good.
Yep.
So my number 4 is a song by 9 Inch Nails. By the name of Closer.
Right.
Very, very well known song.
Get me closer to God.
And this came out at a time when, again, we're in high school, fucking hormones are raging, and I hear a song like this, and it's so fucking, it's so primal, and it's so gritty, and the way he's singing, like, I wanna fuck you like an animal, and it kind of shaped the way my brain sort of thinks about sex a little bit, and probably not in a good way.
Oh God.
But it, like, this song kind of shaped the way I thought about, certain things. And it just, again, just the primal fucking grittiness of it, just, and the unique music too. I don't even know how you would describe some of the fucking sounds in this in this.
I don't even know what's making the some sort of synthesizer or whatever. Yeah,
very, very unique song, but fucking awesome. Like, it's fun to listen to. It's got some fucking serious undertones, And again, like thinking about, I wanna fuck you like an animal. And also, it's very hard for me to hear this song now and not think about the Muppets. Have you seen the YouTube video where they put this song to the Muppets?
No.
Oh my God, it's the fucking greatest thing you'll ever see in your life.
I need to see it.
Just go or throw in YouTube 9 Inch Nails Closer Muppets and yeah, prepare to have an experience.
We'll have to do that while we're closing up today.
Yeah.
I definitely need to see that.
Yeah, but fucking Closer. And then of course, fast forward another year or two when we get the movie 7 that comes out. They do a fucking a kind of a different version of this for the intro to the movie 7 when he's fucking like peeling off his fucking fingertips and he's doing like all the shit with his books and stuff, and you can kind of hear it. It kind of sounds like Closer, but it's a little bit different and distorted in different instruments. And then like as you see the fucking title screen come up, and then you hear "You Get Me Closer to God." But yeah,
I don't think I've seen 7 more than once.
really.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a good fucking movie.
Yeah, it's in that weird like kind of genre that I'm not really.
Well, yeah, you've never been a horror guy.
I'm not a
anyway.
horror guy, and it's not like a super horror movie, but it's like I don't know. It's a level of drama that like my anxiety like it pushes up against. So I'm not really. Just,
Okay, fair enough.
like, I know it's a good movie, but it's like it's one of those like I'm good. I don't need to see that.
Yeah,
I don't need that adding to whatever other things are happening in my fucking dreams.
yeah.
In my dreams.
Moving on to my number 3, it's by a band called Lush, who I've talked about now and again on the show, and it's the song Desire Lines. So Lush, they were an indie British rock band from like the late 80s and early 90s.
Okay.
I knew one of their songs only from playing it in the game Rock Band. Again, they had one song on there, and I really fucking loved it. I loved it so much that I bought it on like fucking iTunes before they had like Apple Music and all that shit.
Right.
And like I listened to it for years. Never thought to be like, hey, what else does this band play? Until the fucking start of the pandemic. At the start of fucking COVID, when we're all just like in our houses, can't go anywhere, can't fucking do anything, I start like digging into the YouTube rabbit hole, so I have like shit to watch while I'm fucking working from home.
Right.
And I fucking was like, oh yeah, that fucking song that I like from Lush. I wonder if they did anything else good. And I started going down the YouTube rabbit hole. Became a fucking mega super fan of Lush. That basically in 2020. Like I fucking watched every one of their music videos. I now have like this massive YouTube playlist where I have every one of their live performances that's on YouTube. Huge fan. They released an album in 1994 and it had 3 fucking phenomenal tracks on it, but I only put one in my top 5, and it's a song called Desire Lines. Love the music video for this song. The song Love Life that came from that album almost made the top 5, but instead it was Desire Lines. Great fucking song. I love Lush. You know, if Mickey Bereni were a little bit younger or I was a little bit older, you know, Kristen, I'm sorry, but you know, whatever.
No idea who he's talking about.
Mickey Bereni is the lead singer of Lush.
I don't know. I don't know that band.
Yeah. Most people don't. And that's the thing. It was like I just kind of like got into their music on a whim, and yeah.
I love that. I love that with all the music of 94.
94.
94.
That you got a band that's like totally not on my radar at all. That's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah.
Of all the music, that's fucking great.
Yep. So that was my number 3. On to yours.
My number 3 is honestly my top 3. They may be fairly predictable, but maybe not, and I'm not really apologetic about it.
No,
But
you shouldn't be.
because they're very fucking very top 40 or whatever it is you want to say, but Along You from Green Day.
Yeah,
Like fucking
great song.
just something about it just makes me want to
That's another punk rock band,
Yeah.
like 90s punk rock.
yeah.
I
And that's kind of where there was a level of aggressiveness that I wasn't necessarily getting with. I wasn't in the metal crowd at that moment. You know, I could listen to that music, but I wasn't in that crowd.
Sure.
You know, I was, the people I was hanging out with, it was way more of like, Y100 was probably the edgiest that what they were doing. But I wanted something harder, and punk rock kind of filled that niche a little bit.
Yeah, and it was a powerful song, despite being about jerking off. It was a pretty powerful song.
It just made you want to fucking kick things and so yeah, Longview by Green Day. That was I saw some Green Day hate in the fucking chat.
What?
I love that early Green Day. I really did.
Yeah.
The fucking Dookie album was probably that was a great album, especially for the mid '90s. Holy shit! If that wasn't one of the best albums that was out there.
I like Dookie. I liked the
He said he likes Dookie.
I like the follow-on album too, the one that had Overdrive on it. My mind's been on overdrive.
Yeah, was that
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh fuck, what's the name of that album? I can't even think of it right now.
Yeah, I owned it, but I can't remember the name of it either.
It might be in the Sacred Jedi binder, but I'm not taking that out right now because the fucking CDs are falling all out of it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, good song, Longview. That was your 3.
That's my 3.
All right, your 2.
So my number 2 is by a band called Blues Traveler.
Ah, yes.
Yes, and it is Runaround by Blues Traveler. And Runaround was the radio played, song.
Yeah, and the music video. The music video was very popular.
Yeah, it was like kind of what put Blues Traveler on the map. I actually saw Blues Traveler in concert. It wasn't in '94. I think it was later. I want to say it was either in '95. Might have been in '95 when I saw them in concert, but we actually went out to Lehigh and saw them in concert. It was an adventure. But talking about albums that I listened to a lot and knew all the words to, and it was just fun. It was just a fun album.
I really like Hook from that album too.
Hook, I'll tell you, looking at my others deserving mention, Hook is right there.
Oh yeah.
And I know, I mean, again, I know all the words to, a lot of those songs, but there's a lot of songs on there that, The Mountains Win Again, that if you're just listening to the words and just the ballady of it, the balladiness of it, the mountains win again. It's a great album. I love that entire album.
I've got a funny story too about Runaround. My friends and I, this is also the time, this junior to senior year, where we were actually like really like trying to like get drunk a lot.
Right.
So we'd get together, we'd have like a bunch of drinks, and I had like 3 beers, I think. Again, 17-year-old Jason, I had like 3 beers at my buddy's house, and I'm like, man, that Runaround video was crazy with the Wizard of Oz and all this other stuff. Kind of like somebody who was like stoned or something. But again, I'd had like 3 fucking Coors Lights or something. I'm like, man, that Runaround video and the Wizard of Oz theme, that was crazy, man.
It was funny in '94 when I feel like by '94 our drinking was, we were experienced drinkers by '94. I mean, we're 18 years old. We had our parties, with our, got our however we got our beer and whatever.
Yeah.
And I was never a beer guy. Like, we had the wine cooler kind of is how we came into it. And then from wine coolers, I went immediately to hard alcohol.
Yeah, like we made that transition very quickly from beer to fucking liquor, from beer to fucking tequila and Jack Daniels. And
the fact is, I can remember, I think it was in the New Year's of, it was either '93 or '94.
94.
94.
Docking Bay 94.
94. I think it was that party. Like, we had gotten a beer ball for that party, and dude, those parties were like fucking ridiculous. I'm pretty sure that was that party because I remember I drove a handful of people home, so I wasn't drinking initially. Like, there's only a couple of us that had licenses, so I was like, all right, I'm not gonna drink for the first part, and then we had to drive some people back because they weren't really older. They were kind of younger, and it was like, underclassmen type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So drove them back, and then I came back and then caught up to everybody. Like, I think at the time this is how ridiculous it was. I was drinking like Sambuca, but I was drinking it with Twizzlers as straws. I'm gonna have this like pure sugar fucking alcohol, and then I'm gonna drink it through sugar,
Through a fucking Twizzler.
through a Twizzler. So
How did
like,
it not erode that fucking Twizzler almost immediately?
how like people that don't like black licorice are like, how do you double down on fucking somebody that doesn't like black licorice? Oh, I'm gonna have it with fucking black licorice. I'm gonna drink it out of black licorice.
Or just do shots of Jaeger, same kind of thing.
See, we didn't really have Jaeger. The big things we were drinking were, we had Sambuca, we had Aftershock.
Oh, Aftershock. I love that shit.
We had Ice 101.
I don't think I know what that is.
Ice 101 was like Aftershock, but it was a higher proof. It was 100. That 101 was 101 proof.
God damn.
And what it would do is it would fucking. So I think I've told the story before on the pod, but maybe not. We have my buddy Jeff. He worked at Annie Ann's, and during the summer, and so we had Annie Ann's cups, like the wax cups from Annie Ann's, and this is what we're having our drinks out of, and this it's probably happening in '94, maybe earlier, maybe later. It's fuzzy.
Yeah.
But so we'd have the wax cups, and we pour like Ice 101 into it, and you had to drink it fast because it would eat the bottom out of these fucking these cups. So you you pour a good shot into it.
Yeah.
And then you had to get it going fast.
Uh-huh.
And it was like drinking fucking mouthwash. But oh dude, it got you fucked up quick though.
I
Holy
believe it.
shit, you were fucking done. You were done quickly. But yeah, like that's it was all about sugar. It was, and I just was not into beer. It wasn't something that was in my palate. It took like, I think I was like 26, 27 years old before I drank beer.
Huh.
Yeah, it took a while.
Well, we'll save those stories for another time.
Yeah.
But that was your number 2, right?
My number 2 was Run Around by Blues Traveler.
All right, my number 2. So you knew based on some of the hints that I gave that I was going to have a country song on my list.
Right.
So my number 2 is a country song. We've talked about like songwriters and stuff like that, and how some songs are just these trite lyrics that have no meaning or anything. Well, this song actually has some pretty serious meaning. So my number 2 is a song by a man named Colin Ray, and it's called Little Rock. And it's a country song about a guy struggling with alcoholism. Basically, he's been dealing with alcoholism. Yeah, good transition, right? Dealing with alcoholism and basically kind of getting a fresh start in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, still calling up his ex, talking about how he misses her, but he's like doing well. He hasn't had a drink in 19 days.
Right.
And it's kind of a sad story, really. It's just a guy like just fucking struggling, and it's a daily fight. That daily fight that I would imagine alcoholics, have to battle, like staring at that fucking drink.
Why would you point at me like that when you said that? You said, imagine that alcoholics.
No, I use my hands a lot when I talk. But it's a story about a guy who's an alcoholic. It's a good song. It's got a good melody, and he's a decent singer. I mean, he's nothing special. I don't even know what the fuck he did after this, but it was a fantastic song. I loved it back then. Doing my research for this year, it came across one of my the playlists, and I'm like, yeah, that's still a good fucking song today. And it's a song that actually has a story. It tells a story. It's a self-contained story within the song, which is good, as opposed to just like, I swear by the moon and the stars in the sky, I'll never leave you. I swear, I swear, I swear. Where this guy's actually dealing with real shit. So
I was about, like, I just had this fleeting moment just now. I was about to defend the I Swear song. And I have to say this because it's almost like a confession. But, we listen to the Beach Boys, and you listen to like God Only Knows and shit like that. And those songs are fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the same thing. It's music that we like. I mean, really, that's what it comes down to, right? The I swear thing, I'm sure somebody can relate to it, and that's what they enjoy. They enjoy having fucking that stuff. I'm sure broads fucking enjoy having that shit fucking cackled at them for, you know, whatever. I swear by the moon and the stars in the sky. They picture this fucking guy. He's on his knees, like begging for it, like, oh, I can't live. I'm living without you. I can't live.
I just want the record to show I did like that song.
I can't live anymore. Like, it's that shit that they're all over it. Chicks dig that shit. They want the drama. They want the Prince fucking just like, I can't do it. I need everything. It's just like, that's just how it is. So, but you know, and we there's songs that of artists that we like that have similar things like God Only
I'll give you
Knows
that.
and some other.
I'll
songs.
give you that. It
So
might not.
I hate the I Swear song. I fucking hate it. But that's probably among the same things. Holy fuck! Is it that hot in here?
It is getting hot. All right, so that was my number 2, Little Rock, Colin Ray. Great song. I suggest even you non-country music people to just try it. Just listen to it one time. You might enjoy it.
Get your Clayton Bigsby on.
Yeah.
You might like it.
My number 1,
Your number 1.
a song by John Mellencamp
Oh,
and Michelle Ndegeocello, which
Okay.
I have a funny story about that. Wild Night.
is calling.
I fucking love that song. I love that music video. Do you remember the music video for this?
Yeah.
The fucking that supermodel cab driver. Mm-hmm. The fucking beginning where she's going through that montage where she's getting fucking dressed. She pulls the jeans up.
Pulling
She
the
pulls the
jeans up.
fucking the shirt down. She's not wearing a bra. Fucking nipples are just like out everywhere, and she's got that white fucking see-through shirt that she's pulling down. I'm like,
Remember we were talking about made the comment about jeans.
Mhm.
Where was that? We were in the movie theater. Was it a preview for something? We were talking about jeans, and it was like, oh, if it's not Cindy Crawford fucking in those jeans, I'm not paying attention to it. What were we looking at?
What was that?
Anyway, we can.
Fuck, I don't remember.
We could put this in that same category. Like, all right, if I'm gonna watch that, you know, somebody in jeans, and it's either Cyndi Lauper, Claudia Schiffer, or fucking Cyndi Lauper. Did I say Cyndi Lauper?
I mean, she was
Crawford.
cool and all, but
Cindy Crawford, Claudia Schiffer, or it's hot. It's so hot,
Yeah, it is.
Jason. It's so hot in here.
yeah. But yeah, I loved that song. Always loved it. Every time it comes on, I'm like, fuck yeah, I love this song. The first couple of times I saw the video, the MTV VJs are introducing it, and every time they said Michelle Ndegeocello's name, I thought they were saying Michelle Ndege on the cello. Like for the first couple of times, I'm like, she's not playing a
She's
cello.
not playing the cello. What the fuck?
But she fucking rocks that bass guitar. Holy shit. Like she is fucking just killing it. But yeah.
We all chilling and shit.
And this is it's a remake of a Van Morrison song. So it's
That makes sense. I mean, Van Morrison has that. That's a Van Morrison sound,
yeah.
honestly.
And I think their version is superior. And that's my my number 1 song of 1994. So that leaves you, David.
I definitely wouldn't have. That was not my guess.
And
I am struggling right now to find my list of your top 5.
yeah. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you can't find it.
It's annoying though.
All right, I think I know what your number 1 is because I have it written down here, so I want to see
Okay,
it.
and I know what well, we can just do that with number 1s because we have our listeners picks for all the other 5.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we can use that as for content.
Yeah.
My number 1 is not on this page. Hang on. Drum roll, please. It's Ants Marching by Dave Matthews Band.
Oh shit. Okay, that is not what I thought it was. I was sure it was going to be Sabotage.
No.
Okay.
I love that song. But so these albums with Dave Matthews are like it's like a culmination. Like I talk about going to the concerts and stuff like that. Like we went to so many Dave Matthews shows, and like there's so many times when my buddy Jeff, he was going to college down in Western Maryland, and I'd be driving down there to go, hang out with him, and and his fraternity and all the other stuff, and I'd be listening to Blues Traveler, and I'd be listening to Dave Matthews Band, like the entire drive, right, and it just kind of became the soundtrack, and of the albums that had come out in 94, like 94 or for 9 Ants Marching was this being my favorite is also heavily influenced by an album that came out later with Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds. They did a version of Ants Marching that was fucking phenomenal. Yeah. And this album version is very, very good. I really like Dave Matthews from 1994 to like 98. The albums, the music was fucking awesome, and I was Dave Matthews like mega fan.
As was my lovely wife Kristen, right, who's agreeing with you in the chat.
Yeah, we should, and it would be great to do a Dave Matthews thing.
And it would have to be like you two kind of like schooling me on all things Dave Matthews. Because
I look, if we did something for Dave Matthews like that album with Tim Reynolds, I'd have to. In fact, it's probably in the thing, but Dave Matthews, Tim Reynolds, and it's honestly it's acoustic. Like with Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds, if I can find one, live at Luther College. It came out in '99.
Okay.
So we have a little bit to go for that, but that encompasses like that album encompasses so much of the music that had come out that is so fucking good. But yeah, it's a great song. I'll put Dave Matthews in every once in a while just to like as almost like a recaging. And for some life stuff, yeah, just because it's you don't have to think, like there's really no thought to it, and like if you go to a Dave Matthews concert, they're thinking not required because there's a lot of like just droning on, and like the songs go so long during the concert, but most of the time, like most of the people in the concert are fucking stoned. Or drunk or whatever. Like it's about the party. It's kind of like going to a Buffett show. It's
sure.
You're going there for the party.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my number one.
Excellent.
Dave Matthews for the next couple of years is going to be in the top of my list.
All right.
And dominate my music experience.
Well, good. That's a good top 5. Before we get into like other people's guesses, I have a couple of honorable mentions I wanted to throw out there real quick. First of all, What's the Frequency, Kenneth from REM. I fucking love that song. Really, really enjoy that song. Long View from Green Day almost made the cut.
What about What's the Frequency, Kenneth do you like?
I mostly like the guitar riffs in it.
It just seems really repetitive to me. Because I know a lot of people that like talk about that song as like one of REM's better songs. I'm like,
I think it's a combination. I think it's the energy of the song. I love the guitar in it. Yeah, it's just got a fun energy to it that I enjoy. But anyway, Long View from Green Day. I'll Remember from Madonna. Zombie from the Cranberries. And we didn't talk about Counting Crows, but Einstein on the Beach is one of my honorable mentions. Here's the thing that I completely forgot to touch on this. Mr. Jones was big this year, but I think it was one of those spillovers again because I think their album came out like late '93. But Mr. Jones was fucking everywhere. I hated that song when it first came out. Like I hated Mr. Jones for the longest time. I hated fucking Counting Crows for the longest time.
Going to be big stars.
But then when like some of their other tracks came out, Einstein on the Beach, Rain King, I liked those when I heard those on the radio, but I still hated Mr. Jones until like, I don't know, 5-10 years ago. Then all of a sudden, like something switched and I listened to it again. I'm like, that's actually not a bad song.
Right.
And now it's to the point where I actually enjoy Mr. Jones. I put it on purpose. Whereas, like, literally in 94, I fucking hated that song. I would immediately change the channel if the video came on. I would immediately change the radio if the song came on.
Well, I think that's the power of the overplay. You
Yeah.
know, when it's being overplayed and you're just tired of listening to it, and it's just like, fuck yeah, I just don't like it right now because it's being overplayed. It doesn't make it a bad song. It just makes it fucking, I just don't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah.
And you know, I think when you come back to a song like that and it's like, oh wow, this is good. I remember this. And why haven't I been listening to this? Oh wow, because they played it fucking every 15 minutes.
Yeah, which thankfully we don't have to worry about that now.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to get those honorable mentions out there.
Yeah.
You got any yourself?
I do. So we talked about how the spillover with Nirvana Unplugged. I wanted to put all apologies on there because it's just, I didn't include it in the top 5 because it very easily could have made it in there.
And I put that in for my guess for your top 5.
Yeah, because it was a spillover, I didn't want to include it in the top 5, but it's a great song.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about it before when we were talking about Nirvana.
The Nirvana episode, yeah.
I talked about Interstate Love Song already. You Wreck Me by Tom Petty.
Yeah, I forget that he had an album that year.
He did. There was a couple of songs off that album. You Wreck Me. And,
that wasn't the Wildflowers.
It's the Wildflowers album.
Fuck. I
Yep.
completely forgot that was
Yep.
94 because I love You Don't Know How It Feels.
Yep. And that's another one of my honorable mentions. You
How-
don't know how it feels.
How the fuck did I miss that?
I don't know.
That was 94.
94.
God damn it, Reggie Ray.
Yep.
Fuck. That would have messed up my whole top 5, I think.
I can-
Let me get to the point. Let's roll. Another joint. Oh yeah, the
Like
radio
on the
version.
radio version.
Another.
Sabotage, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and I had an asterisk next to it, and it was like the video. The video just is one of the best things ever.
Yeah, that was my guess for your number 1. Sabotage.
All I Want to Do by Sheryl Crow is on there. 100% Pure Love by Crystal Waters. And back to the middle of the round.
Oh yeah, because there was a lot of good like dance stuff.
100%.
You had Real McCoy too.
Yep.
At that time. Another night, another dream, but always you.
Yeah, like
you
I
know?
said, when we kind of had a workout mix that me and my buddy Sean, we would work out to.
Yeah.
And a lot of these songs were on there.
Yeah, I think those dance music or those dance songs from the mid '90s are very underrated.
Yeah, Shoots and Ladders for Korn is on there. Undone, the Sweater Song,
Yeah.
by Weezer is on there. Off of the Woodstock album, Woodstock '94 album, that Dance Motherfucker Dance from the Violent Femmes.
Yeah,
I actually saw
yeah.
the Violent Femmes in '94.
94.
94. It was a a festival that they were doing in Philly. I saw them. Here's okay, and I'll end it with this one. There's a lot of really like kind of obscure ones, but I'm going to say this one. I'll take these two. Seether by Veruca Salt. That was this year,
Yep.
and it got played out a lot. But if you think like listen to it recently, it's not as bad.
It's funny because I did not like them for the dumbest reason, but I hated their band name, Veruca Salt. I'm like, that's the stupidest fucking band name. I'm not listening to them, and that was it. That was the decision was made at that point, and it probably was good music, but I never would have let it get that far.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
So there was an album that came out. Jimmy Page and Robert Plant put out an album.
No Quarter.
No Quarter.
Yes.
Yes. And they did a version of Kashmir on it.
Yes.
That was fucking phenomenal.
Which is my favorite Led Zeppelin song
Yeah.
by far.
Dun-dun-dun,
I have that album.
dun-dun-dun. That was in '94.
Fuck.
Yep.
Oh
Yep.
man.
That was tough to get too. Like because I knew of the album and I knew like of the things that were on there that song was really the only one that I would even consider to be on a list.
Yeah.
And like I had to like go to Apple Music and it was like, nope, can't just listen to this. You have to download the album.
Right.
So I downloaded the album and was able to play it. And it's a weird version of it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I do remember it.
it's
yeah.
a good version.
Yeah.
It's a good version of it. So
I fucking love Kashmir.
yeah. So look for that. It's the No Quarter album.
I'm
Jimmy Page and Robert
I'm
Plant.
sure that CD is still in my garage.
Yep.
Fucking sweet.
and U2 had All I Want Is You on the Reality Bites soundtrack that was also on there. So yeah,
All right,
I
let's
had lots of music on there for honorable mentions, but let's
get to other people's guesses real quick before we
Right.
close this out because fuck, it's hot in here. All right, Chantal. Thinking of Dave's top 5.
Right.
Number 5, I'll Make Love to You. Number 4, I Swear.
oh
So she's way off.
my God.
Number 3, Tootsie Roll. So
butterfly on its own. Let me see the Tootsie Roll.
so number 2, like we talked about this earlier, I knew this was one of your fucking red herrings as soon as I saw it in your list. Fucking Streets of Philadelphia by Bruce Springsteen.
Chantal, how did you not
Him and Bruce have a history on this show.
fuck Bruce Springsteen?
Yep.
Fuck him right in the ear.
Yep.
I'm not a Bruce Springsteen
And then
fan.
she closed it with All I Want to Do, Sheryl Crow. So that was
All I wanna do is have some
Tina. Sabotage, The Sign, Violent Mood Swings, All Apologies, Runaround. So
That's
pretty good.
That's good ballpark.
Yep.
I like that.
Nicole, Runaround, You Wreck Me, All I Want to Do, Ants Marching, I'll Make Love to You. Why do so many people think you like that
I
song?
don't know.
Maybe it's
Philadelphia.
Oh, that's
Voice
right.
to Men, Philadelphia.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good connection. All right. From Scott, Hurt, Interstate Love Song, Sabotage, Come Out and Play, I'm Broken.
Yeah, going for that heavier kind of tone. I'm Broken was on my top 40.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that in your 25 list or whatever. From Dragon Buddy, Streets of Philadelphia, Broken, Sabotage, Come Out and Play, Philadelphia by Neil Young. I don't even know what that is.
That again, falling like deliberately putting the troll things in there. He knows better.
And then from Kelly, Philadelphia, Neil Young, Least Complicated, Ants Marching, You Wreck Me, and then Violent Mood Swings.
That's so she put Least Complicated on there.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. That's pretty good.
Yep. And then just for reference, my top 5 for you, starting with number 5, I said All Apologies, Ants Marching, Violent Mood Swings, I Stay Away, and then Sabotage was what I guessed for you.
My number 1 for you was the Mariah Carey song.
Without You?
All I Want for Christmas.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
That came out that Christmas.
Yep.
Was when we were graced with the song that we would listen to
That was my number
for
1
the rest of our lives.
That's right. Yeah. And I wasn't even close with any of the other ones.
All right.
So for you, from Chantal, the number 5 was Cotton Eye Joe. Number 4 was Closer.
Ooh, she hit number 4 right on the head.
Yep. Number 3 was The Sign. Number 2 was The Power of Love.
Though I do like that song. It was not in there.
Number 1 was I'll Stand By You.
I do like that song too, but yeah, we didn't talk about that. But yeah, the Pretenders, I'll stand by you.
Not a horrible song. From Tina, number 5 was Don't Take the Girl.
That was a red herring. I hated that song.
Number 4 was Zombie.
Okay.
Number 3 is Lightning Crashes.
Okay.
Number 2 is Stay.
That was also a red herring. I hated that song.
Number 1 is I'll Stand By You.
Okay.
From Nicole, number 5 is I Swear by John Michael Montgomery.
Red herring.
Number 4 is Don't Take the Girl. Number 3 is Stay. Number 2 is The Power of Love. Number 1 is All I Want for Christmas.
Wow. So she hit 4 of my red herrings in there.
Yeah. All right, from Scott, All I Want for Christmas was his number 5. I Swear by John Michael Montgomery was his number 4. 3 was Zombie. 2 was The Power of Love. And 1 was Don't Take the Girl.
Yeah, he only got 2 right there.
So from Dragon Buddy, number 5 was What a Man,
All right. And he was right.
which is crazy. Number 4 is Wild Night.
Okay.
Is calling.
So he's 2 for 2 in my top 5.
Number 3 was Cotton Eye Joe.
But I do like that song. It was a fun song, but
Yeah.
not worthy of a top 5.
2 is Zombie.
Okay.
Number 1 is Lightning Crashes.
Okay. Didn't dislike those other songs, so Dragon Buddy was probably the closest.
So Lunar Girl, number 5 is I Swear from John Michael Montgomery. Number 4 is Peace in My Heart.
Oh, Faith Hill. That was Faith Hill's debut. And she did the Janis Joplin cover. I actually did like that song, but it wasn't enough to be in my top 5.
Number 3 is All I Want to Do. Let's have some fun.
I mean, it was again overplayed. I enjoyed it at the time, but
Comes up on the Santa Monica Boulevard.
Mhm.
Number 2 is Lightning Crashes.
Okay.
And number 1 was Desire Lines.
Ooh, all right. She's the only one that guessed a Lush song, so very good.
Yeah.
And
like I
she
said,
got the right one.
And like I said, my number 1 was going to be
Oh,
Mariah Carey.
yeah. The
All I Want for Christmas.
Actually, Kristen also sent me her guesses for mine, and she was actually really fucking close. She guessed Little Rock from Colin Ray, What a Man, Wild Night, The Sign, and Desire Lines Lush. So she got 4 out of 5. So she was the closest out of anybody.
As she should.
Yeah.
You know, she should know you best.
You would think. So well done, Kristen. But yeah, well done, everybody. And thank you for all of the
Yes.
contributions. That was a lot of fun.
That was spectacular.
And
to be honest.
95
94.
is going to get interesting because a lot of weird shit's going on that year. And we're getting to the point where I'm about to join the military. So
He's
lots
got
going
his
on.
cowboy boots on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He's got flannel.
I wore my cowboy boots to basic training.
I know. We saw the picture. Did that make it? Like, did we show that on the show?
No,
We didn't show
that should be a Patreon exclusive.
That should be that picture of you walking to your car with your bag
My cowboy boots.
and your cowboy boots on.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that boy with
It
the
was-
cowboy
it-
boots on.
It was a different time.
Everybody.
All right, so we have a read.
We do.
All
It's
right.
a fairly lengthy one.
Oh boy.
And
I'm gonna turn on the air because I can't fucking take it anymore.
Oh, really?
So sorry.
oh, you a little warm.
Sorry about the noise, people.
Look at the Duke's on. I want you to look at
Oh, so is
Duke's on. Everybody.
Miss Lopez?
Hello.
Are you? I didn't realize you were joining us this week. Are you gonna be on the show again this week?
Listen, I told you that last week I said you're not going to not have the person on that sings for a living for a music episode. So here I'm coming. I just gotta get dolled up.
Okay. Well, good. I'm glad you're coming out this week because, you know, I heard you were out at the Beach Boys concert.
I was. Hello.
Oh, hello.
You look at my googly eyes.
Well,
I couldn't. So I had to wear a costume at the Beach Boys concert.
well, you didn't want to be recognized.
Exactly. If I had my beautiful hair and
You okay, Miss Lopez?
if I had my beautiful hair and my googly eyes, they would have recognized me, especially while I was singing.
Yes.
So, yeah, that is a what? That Patreon exclusive?
Yes, it's going to be exclusive on our Patreon this week at some point.
Oh, see.
Yeah. So what do you have for us this week?
I got the reads. So, hang on. Schmuckatelli over here's got a scroll. Wow. All right. There's a whole bunch of stuff. All right, so in the Red 5 news, the 2020 Parsec Fan Awards are now openly accepting nominations. See, I left it. See. They're looking for your favorites in science fiction, fantasy, and adventure that have been released from August 1st, 2021. Pay attention, Jason.
I'm listening.
Through July 1st, 2022.
I still don't get why they picked those dates, but whatever. It's not my gig, so
Just do it.
I know.
Shut up and color, Jason.
I know.
You should be used to that shit.
Oh, I am.
Check out our socials for the pick Luna Girl posted for categories and where to email your choices to. She'll be posting it again in the morning. Like tomorrow morning? The Parsec Fan Awards will be creating voting ballots based on your nominations in the coming weeks. Later on tonight at 2000,
So 45 minutes ago.
8 p.m. Eastern, after the weekend is reviewing the 1995 movie Apollo 13. Oh, cool. I love that movie.
I guess that was probably meant to line up with the moon
Right,
launch
with
today.
the Artemis launch that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Somebody made the joke on the stream that I was watching because I'm a super huge the space nerd. You'd never know it.
I would not have known that.
Yeah. I'm way smarter than Fat Baffa and Ben Affleck.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were saying?
I like Apollo. No, it's Apollo 13. So they called it the scrubbed launch system instead of the space launch system because it scrubs all the time. I didn't make the joke, Jason. It was funny when I heard it. Shut up. Apollo 13. That's a great movie. Tom Hanks, fucking sweet. 2200 WSTR Media will be conducting an imperial inspection on Mon Mothma. Inspection of Mon Mothma in anticipation of the upcoming Andor series. Like physically? Like in her hoo-ha? Like what are you expecting? Like that seems
Full cavity search.
like what? That seems awful. Like that just seems weird.
Yeah, I think they could have worded that better.
Well, I mean, tune in if you're into that. Anyway, hop in their live chats and support our Red 5 family, even if it is, weird. Fuck, where am I? Oh, it's, WS Army will be conducting Imperial inspection of Mon Mothma. Weird. In anticipation of the upcoming Andor series. Hop in our live chat to support our Red 5 family. Red 5 Network now has 39.
I'm 37?
Christ on sale, Jason.
It's not easy to change pages. I had the 94 page going.
As soon as I start saying that, it's just like when I say other stuff. God. 39 podcasts.
I'm 37?
Plus 2 in a gaming branch. Browse through the bio.link/red5. That's bio.link/red5 and bio.link/red5 gaming. Red5 gaming. Check out the daily promo. See what you know what they should do. They should actually go and get the red5 like spelled out and have that URL. I think that'd be funny.
Oh, we should
Yeah, we
like
should
buy
do
that
that.
URL. Ooh, we should do that.
Yeah, we should totally do that.
And put your face like as the
Just-
the splash
Just,
page.
just like this.
Your hair is something else today.
It's so hot. It's so hot, Jason. The heat makes my hair do crazy things.
Clearly.
My hair and makeup person is on vacation,
Okay. Yeah, vacation.
apparently. Passed out in the street with crack. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Anyway. 39 podcasts and gaming branch. Red 5 gaming. Check out daily promos. Shoot Lunar Girl DM on any of our socials. And she can suggest something. Oh, God, so tiring. Doing the reads. My arms gets tired. My face gets tired, I mean. Shoot Lunar Girl DM or any social she can say something you absolutely love that's perfect for you. Cantina Family Happenings! I can't. Wait a minute. I gotta set this up better. It's just weird. Alright. Cantina Family Happenings. I'm gonna read it from the teleprompter, okay? Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Alright. Hair making person is a puta. That's funny. Alright. The User Abuse Pod will tentatively be having a monsoon and chill. Monsoon chill pod. Shit. A monsoon chill stream tomorrow at 1700. If the weather is bad, it may get canceled. Join Scott and Kim in their live chat on YouTube and enjoy. Fuck their weather. Jesus.
It's been crazy, man.
Man.
I still have Phoenix in my weather bug, and I get all kinds of pop-ups every day.
They need, like, every week. It's a monsoon.
Yeah.
Monsoon and chili. Like with cheese.
Yes.
Okay. The weather's bad. ATSW Escape Pod will return from summer sabbatical on Wednesday, September 7th. If you miss them, you can always take off your pants and watch episodes of Don De La Snooch, Brady Big Lovin', and Dragon Buddy on YouTube, or listen to them on your favorite podcasting app. It's just better with a teleprompter like this. I don't have to twist my head to see the iPad, I can just do it like this.
Okay, well that's
Right?
good. Whatever works for you.
Does that make sense?
Whatever makes you the most comfortable.
All right. This is the, maybe I need to take off my pants. Don't get too excited over there, boy. Don de la Snooch and Lunar Girl released episode 7, The Bathtub, on Stranger Things Has Happened this Saturday. Subscribe to, and check it out on YouTube. I have no concept at all about what that show is. Not
Yeah, me either. All I know is it takes place in the 80s.
Don de la Snooch and Lunar Girl are the best, but I like the Stranger Things show, no clue.
And apparently the music is making people angry whenever they play Metallica or something else.
Oh,
and-
and see that apparently that's clickbait.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, 'cause
According to that review that we
yeah,
got.
the review guy.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
No new reviews.
I'm still probably gonna yell.
That's fine.
Kind of the thing.
Yeah.
This is what it is. Subscribe and check it on YouTube. Layman Sterbs did not release a new episode this week, but be sure to subscribe, ding that bell, select all to receive notifications for your source of ignorance and drunken banter. Banter. Drunken, jeez. Yeah, instead of sit in the studio and sweat for fucking 2 hours. 3.5 hours. Fucking hell. Anyway. The Orange Fest Show released episode 46, Rusty Shackelford, last week. Sounds like a sex position.
Give her the Rusty Shankerford.
Give her the Rusty Shackelford. Yeah. That's a Dirty Sanchez. Give her the Rusty Dirty Sanchez. Subscribe to it on Spotify to be notified of upcoming releases. I'm sure that looks fucking great. Big Sweet is finally on the verge of a huge thing. This is lies. You all live in a bed of lies.
Is he still alive? Like, I haven't seen or heard from him in a long time.
I communicate with him, or somebody does.
All right.
I don't think he's doing a huge thing. He's busy flying the space plane.
Apparently.
Glue yourself to all updates at Sweet Studios. Go to Sweet Studios and harass Big Swede. Be like, yo, dude, get your shit together. Yeah, if you're listening right now, I'm calling you out, dude. Luna Girl has been hitting the gaming scene. She is a recurring guest Friday nights at 2000 on Dungeons and Dragons podcast, The Red 5 Tavern. She plays Kalisha, the moon elf, paints her lips blue, and even wears elf ears. And this time she paralyzed a sea hag. Haha. Sea hag. That's funny. Check it out and see what this week's adventure takes her. You can find us at bio.link/the Sidebar Cantina, where you will find our links to YouTube, audio, Patreon, our latest Spotify music mixtape, and all the social media platforms, including Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Discord, and TikTok. Also on our bio link is our TeePublic merch shop. We have t-shirts and hoodies and a wide variety of designs, shirts, and colors. There are Sidebar Cantina, face masks, tote bags, phone cases, exclusive stickers, and pins. Just about anything you can imagine. Tag us with your merch so the Lunar Girl can share it on the socials. Reviews!
No new reviews this week.
Fuck!
Sorry.
Please write us a 5-star review on Apple. If you don't have an Apple account, our Facebook page has a review feature too. Just screenshot it before you're done and DM us the pic on Instagram or Twitter. Or on Facebook, wherever you left the review. Because we have, like, Facebook presence. I don't know. Get us a goddamn review. Do it. Do it.
Do it!
Thank you. Jeez. Tell us what you love or even hate about the show. Jennifer Lopez or Hank or Edith or Mama or somebody will read your review word for word next episode. Plus, Luna Girl will send you swag. Did we get we need the words to the song.
Which song?
The fucking Beck song.
Oh, shit. Well, you're going to have to Google it over there.
No, put it on the notes.
Oh, hold on.
Put it in the show notes.
No, I'll just put it up on the big screen up there.
Well, shit. Yeah, put it on the teleprompter I've been reading from this whole time.
So we'll just go like
If
this.
you put it on the teleprompter, I will read it.
And then we'll go like
Yeah, make that bigger there, dude.
That's
what
what she said.
Fuck. Yeah, every time.
Heck, why isn't it?
I don't have that issue with Fat Affleck.
All right. Well, there you go.
All right, we ready?
Yes.
Are you gonna hum the tune or
No, I'm not.
No humming the tune.
You're gonna yell at me again. So
All
I'm
right,
just gonna-
ready?
Yeah.
I'm always gonna yell at you, Jason. It's so much fun.
Oh, I know.
All right. In a time of chimpanzees, there was a monkey. Butane in my veins, I'm out to cut the junkie with the plastic eyeballs. Spray paint the vegetables, dog food stalls with the beefcake pantyhose. Kill the headlights and put it in neutral. Stock car flaming with a loser in a cruise control. Babies in Reno with a vitamin D. Got a couple of couches. Sleeps on the love seat. Some say, some came insane. I'm insane to complain about a shotgun waiting on a stain on my shirt. Don't believe everything that you breathe. You get a parking violation and a maggot on your sleeve. So shave your face with some ace in the dark. Shaving all your food stamps and put it on the trailer park. Yo! Cut it. Soy. Oh, Perdidor! That's not real, right? Is that a real thing?
I don't know.
I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you kill me? Double barrel buckshot soy. Oh, Perdidor! I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you kill me? Forces of evil in a bozo nightmare. Ban all the music with a phony gas chamber. Cause one's got a weasel and another's got a flag. One's on the pole, shove the other in a bag with the rerun shows and the cocaine nose job. The daytime crap of the folk singer slob. He hung himself with a guitar string. Slab a turkey neck and it's hanging from a pigeon wing. You can't write if you can't relate. Trade the cash for the beef or the body of the hate, and your time is a piece of wax falling on a termite that's choking on the splinters. Oh, soy. Oh, Perdidor. I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you kill me? Getting crazy with the cheese whiz. Soy. Oh, Perdidor.
Is she gonna sing the whole song?
I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you kill me?
Miss Lopez, you're going out of camera a little bit there.
Oh, it's hard. It's hard to do this. I think that's it. It goes-
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very repetitive
It
after
repeats
that.
after that. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll
you
get
go. There you go.
Well done, Miss Lopez.
Getting
That
crazy
was
with the cheese whiz.
that was brilliant. That was brilliant. Is that all the
I
read?
can't believe any of the words.
Are we
yeah,
done?
That's it. I'm good.
All right. Well,
I
you.
can't feel my face right
Yeah.
now.
Have a good night, Miss Lopez.
Yeah, thank you.
It's
I'm gonna go.
It's almost bedtime for all of us.
Fuck.
I knew this was going to be a long
All right,
episode.
bye-bye.
All right, bye, Miss Lopez. We'll see
Bye.
you maybe next week.
Oh, adios. Other Spanish words. That's the real Spanish words in the song that I apparently cannot pronounce because it's real Spanish.
You all right?
What?
That's not your real voice.
What?
There we go. Jesus Christ.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
This this J-Lo thing is taking on this new life of its own, where it's like,
I don't know what to tell you.
like as far as I'm concerned, Dave's not even in the room when she's here. Like, it's a completely different person, and yeah, I'm having a conversation with a hand basically, but it's perfectly normal.
Yep, perfectly normal.
I'm breezy.
Hey, if you're a Patreon subscriber, you can see J-Lo singing a Beach Boys song.
Is she up?
I don't know.
Oh.
I think the video was sent, as far as I know. So
Yeah, I know she was waiting until maybe after this show before she put it up, but
Donde está mi biblioteca?
we're just running through Spanish words.
yeah. All right. That's it.
It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we gotta go. Next week we're actually recording on Sunday. Surprise!
Sunday! Because we have a fantasy football draft
Sunday night.
to do.
On NBC.
So we're going to do our normal show at 5:30 on Sunday,
see
3 p.m. And then at 1900, we are going to initiate the fantasy football draft. So we will be doing that live.
Yeah.
So if you're not a fan of the fantasy football, then hang out for the normal show stuff. And then, you know, you can continue to hang out for fucking witty banter and potentially Jennifer Lopez singing the Sunday Night Football song. Who knows? Who knows what could happen?
Yeah. All right. And before we sign off, I just want to give one last.
Docking Bay 94.
94.
94. Off and on.
All of them. At once.
Docking Bay 94.
Oh, it's great every time.
Yep. All right. We're going, guys. This is the end.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. We love you. We'll see you next week
Bye.
in broadcast.